can't believe it. We're live. Stel's just appeared. I thought you was going to be late.
I am. It's 9:10.
we actually went late ourselves, mate, for a change.
Waiting for you.
It was waiting for you. Cheers for joining. Cheers for joining. Right. Evening all, and thank you all for joining us this evening. I hope you enjoyed that Ronaldo hat trick earlier on that broke the Spurs fans' hearts. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Oh, bloody hell! That was amazing. He ain't played for a few games, has he, Ronaldo?
He got dropped the last game, didn't he?
He got dropped the last game, but yeah,
he was injured.
Hell. Was he injured? Yeah. Well, look, sadly, still no John tonight, as he had to go back into hospital for yet another operation. But we're happy to report that the op was carried out this morning, and he's back in recovery, and he's back to being a dick on WhatsApp, so he must be feeling better. And hopefully, you're going to see him in a chat at some point.
And that film Face Off, it's true, isn't it? They can do it now.
They can do it. Yeah. He's going to come back.
Let's see what he looks like.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm joined by Gary as usual. How are you, bruv?
Yeah, I'm fine. A little bit of COVID, but I don't know whether I got it. I went to Wales last night, to Cardiff, and watched Wales against France, and I've come back with COVID. So whether I took it there or whether I bought it at home, I don't know. But either way, I can happily report the French have got COVID.
The super spreader of Romford. And as you can see, we called out the big guns tonight. We've got Nigel and Stel, the pair of them. They both kindly offered to come on the show. Well, I say kindly offered. Nagged into submission is probably more accurate.
I don't remember the kind offer.
I don't remember that either. It's like
fucking poor old Stel's fucking bored to death in Malaga or Mallorca, fucking
wherever I was. Yeah. Can you come on? No, I'll let you know later. Why can't you let us know now? Well, other things to do. Like what?
I know. Stel, did you go to Sevilla? I mean, you didn't tell us, mate. We weren't aware.
Took a short trip over there. I didn't know there was any football on over there. What a surprise! What a surprise!
He did the Tour de Spain, didn't he?
Yeah, on my bicycle.
He's been in more airports in Spain than I've had holidays there.
Let's not. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, of course you can.
Fucking hell.
It was a bastard journey.
4 fucking flights in like 3 days. Jesus. I'll tell you what though, Palma de Mallorca Airport is absolutely amazing. If you don't want to go and do anything else, go and visit Mallorca Airport.
Did you not pop down the strip on the Shagaloof? Come on.
No, mate, it's too far.
You should have.
It's an hour bus ride.
Over there and an hour back. No, it was over an hour there and over an hour back. And I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to miss my flight.
Bloody
That's what I was thinking. Is it not? Oh, so you have been to Shagaloof?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that far away. I'm sure it's not that far away.
It's an hour.
It's an hour's too far. I would have known me. I would have ended up, fucking around and then thinking, shit, I've got half an hour to do an hour's journey back and miss my plane. And I waited long enough for it.
I thought you was going to say something else to do half hour in Shagaloof then still. I thought you were going to fucking knock that out double lively.
I'm not 21 anymore, mate.
You did make the last train, didn't you, yesterday? So you was telling us. So you did.
Yeah, after all the journeys, I made the last underground home. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Things you do for West Ham United.
It was all worth it. It was all well, we know how Stel is. He's still pissed off from his journey. Nigel, where are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, let's run through the agenda for this evening. We're going to be looking back at Thursday night in Sevilla and doing the player ratings. Gary's got 3 news stories as usual for us all to discuss. I've nominated an alternative for Cock of the Week. All will become clear later on. We've got a Kahoot quiz that I've hastily put together. So I'm not too sure of the quality of that, Nigel. I'm not too sure, but we shall see. But
look, a win's a win to me, mate. I don't care.
Exactly. I've nicked some questions from some other people as well. So if they're wrong, it ain't my fault, all right? It's not my fault. So yeah, and then what we're going to do once that quiz is out of the way, we're going to look ahead to tomorrow afternoon's game at Villa. Well, at home to Villa. We'll do the lineup predictor, and then we're going to do a combined 11 before closing the show with our Premier League predictor as per usual.
All in an hour.
All in an hour, no problem at all. So before we start, Gal, do you want to have a whiz for the chat? Is there many comments yet?
Yeah, no, I've covered them already, but there's one here I think which is good. Still nutted a few Frankfurt fans. I think that was true when it's still.
It was throwing plates at them.
And it was a little bit tasty. It's funny. how long have I got to tell you little stories of Seville?
Go on.
Well, you can
Well,
go on. Go on,
I'll
milk
tell
it,
you a
mate.
little story.
on.
Me and my mate Paul, who were sharing an absolutely beautiful apartment there, separate bedrooms, of course. We were drinking in a bar, which was just around the corner. There you go. Drinking the local Troubadour, 8.5%. That is. Sorry about the picture. It was a bit
Bloody
hazy.
hell.
Came off my phone. I couldn't finish it.
Shall I say it again? Let's have a look.
Troubadour. Apparently, it's a local.
Ah.
To be
Apparently,
fair, still, I'm impressed that picture was actually up the right way. Did you flip that? Nick?
Yeah.
Strangely, I seem to think still has a chuckle.
That was the weirdest video, wasn't it? After Southampton, that was so odd.
Well, you know what I did. You know what I did the other night, don't you? I did another one
He did the same.
when the fans were walking to the stadium.
Yeah.
bloody
When
hell.
we were all being kettled, and I was filming it, and then I put it up on the channel, and I thought I've done it again. It was, and I actually titled it en route to the stadium sideways or something like that. I can't be asked to fucking.
You should just own it. I mean, that's how all your streams should be from now on. You know, it'd be very unique. Why not?
Well, I mean, the Sidemen, didn't they become very famous, isn't it? You could be
They
the
did.
Sideways man.
And I thought you'd go one further, Nigel, and say, well, when people are falling asleep, they can see you in the proper way up.
Well, there is.
There you go. So anyway, we were drinking in this bar. This bar was fantastic, honestly. It had every beer from God knows. I mean, fucking just a bar of beer.
Yeah.
And we got out pretty pissed. And I was looking for a route home, and we walked straight into the trouble.
Oh no! Oh, you did really?
We had no idea it was going on, and someone came and went, "Oh, you wouldn't go that way." And like, why? And then you saw all the police vans and everything behind.
Oh, dear.
You know, but by that time it had kind of like seemed to have calmed down. But
Sideways still.
go, stop it, John. Otherwise, I'll start talking about your op. But yeah, apparently it was quite tasty out there. It was interesting.
Yeah, but you know the way it was. Yeah, but the way it was reported, because you know we can all be critical of West Ham fans as well. You know, because we've got a bit of a reputation. But the way it was reported the next day, it was headlined very much to say, West Ham have created trouble. But when you saw the other videos, it was the Frankfurt fans that targeted the West Ham fans in that pub, and it just goes to show you.
Actually, the owner, the bar owner of O'Neill's, I'm sure you must have read the article, came out and said the West Ham fans were amazing, and he wanted them back because it's the most money he's ever made.
And that was just
bars,
when you arrived.
Bars were running down to the local supermarkets and restocking because they just didn't have enough beer. I mean, they were literally carrying crates as they were going back into the bars.
There was as many fans without ticket. It looked to me to be like more fans there that possibly wouldn't have got into the game than got into the game. There was like, it's just people went for a 2-day jolly.
The only
estimated 10,000 people, weren't there?
Well, I don't know if it was 10,000 to be honest with you, but the only way you realise just how many fans there were, that's another poor picture. My apologies. That's the bridge going over towards the stadium. The only way you realise.
What have you got an iPhone 4 still? I mean, what is that picture?
Oh, mate, fucking iPhones, they're shit. They really are.
What, says the man who's just put up the two blurriest pictures we've ever seen?
They are blurry pictures, and that took them from
You're
an
still
iPhone.
on the Nokia, aren't you? Still, come on.
I'll probably get a better picture. But the only time you realised how many fans there were when they started to. I don't want to call it they were kettling us in, but they started to sort of start encouraging us to walk towards the stadium.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the fans were coming out from every fucking bar around. And then the walk, you just looked in front of you and you looked behind you and there were thousands of fans. I don't know if there were 10,000, but certainly double the 3,000.
Well, mate, I'd say talking about that, just have a quick look at this for a minute. This was I've nicked this from a bloke called Vernon Pritchett on Hammer for Life. I did get his okay before I did it, but this is he's right at the front of what looks like the best procession in the world. Here we go.
Convoy.
Brilliant.
It's impressive, isn't it?
It did sort of start getting to feeling, wow, you know,
Yeah.
West Ham are doing this. Do you know what I mean? It like the feeling there. I won't lie, it was superb. I know, Nigel, you've done an odd away tour or two in Europe, haven't you? So
Yeah.
you probably know how.
Well,
the
yeah,
feeling.
but
I know,
yeah.
I know you are.
I
yeah.
weren't stupid enough to walk with all the West Ham fans.
There
Yes.
were enough of us to say
Yeah.
that we were kind of safe.
The funny, I like the flag, the drill pub. That's my mate wrote his van off in their car park once. Didn't see the bollards and fucking it's in Gideon Park, I think. The drill, yeah.
It was just an unbelievable atmosphere, and when you actually saw, I'll tell you why there probably wasn't as many as 10,000 is because we obviously filled out the away end.
Yeah.
But there was certainly not several thousand home away fans.
No, but were there people in the square in the bar watching it? That's what I'm saying.
There would have been.
So, I think there were. Yeah.
If we do by some miracle get to the final, I'm going to go out there whether I've got a ticket or not.
Yeah.
No miracle, mate. We are going again.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
This was a recce tour.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the for May.
We could go there 3 times. We could draw Betis in the next round and go back again.
Do you know what though? There's a bit of me think, would you Betis? It's not that. It's Pellegrini, mate. You know?
Yeah, that's got fucking.
I'd want it, but then I'd be so worried that if we got knocked out to him, I'd just fucking.
It would be gut wrenching.
Yeah, it would be. Okay, well let's get on with the show. We'll start off with Sevilla. Why not? As we've already started talking about that. Now I'm not going to go through the game step by step, as I did a little review on Thursday. So I'll just throw up some sort of key talking points from the game, and then we'll move on to player reviews. But for those that missed my mini review, my thoughts are that it was a fantastic performance. Sevilla scored against a run of play, and I'm more than happy with just a 1-goal deficit to bring back to our place, because I think that's fine. I said that before the game. I would have taken that, even though I did predict a win. But before we move on, I'd just like to say that the West Ham fans that were out there, as you just saw in that video, I think that the fucking support was outrageous. It was brilliant. And when you've got that many people in the city as well, when you consider that you had Frankfurt and you had Betis and you had Sevilla and all those fans that were out there, look, you're going to get a few little bits of trouble. But on the whole, if there'd have been anything too bad that kicked off out there, being West Ham, it would have been highlighted, wouldn't it? So they must have, for the most part, they must have sort of behaved themselves.
Yeah, mate, they did. The Sevilla locals were actually really praising West Ham fans in the way, in their manner. They were intrigued. You've read all the stories. They were intrigued about the songs that we were singing, asking us, "What's that about? And what's this song about?" And they were very intrigued about the Chelsea Chelsea being bankrupt song. That was quite hilarious. But they were taking photos and videos, and people in the bars and the restaurants, etc., were so welcoming, because West Ham fans, I mean, you get every club, you get rogue fans, but the fans behaved themselves. They were actually impeccable, and that's why it felt so good. The atmosphere felt so good before and after the game. It despite what happened on the Wednesday night, it actually felt really, really comfortable, if that makes sense.
Everybody must have been in a good mood out there. I think. Look, at the end of the day, I think you might have posted it on Twitter, Nigel. When you look, we know we're all of us, even the most positive people, were a little bit pissed off with January and this, that, the other. But when you put it in perspective, a couple of years ago, we was fighting relegation, and how could you have the going from being in that situation to all of a sudden you're in Seville, and you're in the last 16? I mean, it's a bit special, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we all know the thing is, social media is like a melting point of a melting pot or a meeting point of all different types of people that see things, and we all see things differently. So you're going to get the whole range of emotion and everything brought out to it. So there's always going to be people that want to complain. that won't be happy, or will find. And in a way, you have to take it as a snippet that they'll say, you might not have read the 3 tweets where they've gone, oh, I'm really happy. You might just see the one where they go, but we could have done this. And people will jump on them and go, oh, nobody's happy. You know, you're always complaining. What's there at the moment about? So it's easy to come on and go, there's nothing to complain about. You know, but enjoy the ride. That's what I've been telling people. This will be a special season because of days like Thursday night.
Yeah, exactly. And next Thursday, because you know what we've done. We have kept that tie alive. So it's going to be special over there. But let's focus on a few little moments from the game. So obviously the Vlasic header, followed by bloody Antonio's air shot. You know, Lanzini puts in a fantastic free kick. Rice wins the header, cushions it back beautifully to Vlasic, who is central to the goal about 10 yards out, and he just heads the ball directly at the keeper. The keeper obviously saves it and parries it towards Antonio, who makes a complete fucking hash of the rebound, just swings a leg and completely misses the ball. Question to Nigel, what were your thoughts on that? We've got to be scoring chances like that, haven't we?
I think people have been a bit harsh on Vlasic, and I'll tell you why. I don't think he heads it straight. The keeper has to dive to save it. Yeah. And that's when he pushes it out. Because if he didn't have to move, he would have caught the ball.
Yeah.
So the ball comes back across to him, doesn't it? From I don't know who headed it back to him.
Declan Rice is a cushion header, and I think he had to generate his own power.
And that's what I'm saying. So I think by saying just because he's 5-6 yards out, sometimes for a keeper, because you ain't got time to think, it's instinctive. And you know that you will make a lot of. You see keepers, a lot of them will make those saves because they're instinctive. It's all about the rebound.
It was kind of at him though, but I mean that's what I mean. What was the worst miss? Was it?
For me, Antonio, because it's all about the rebound. But he's still got to move fast. Yeah, it's going to come out to him quickly. What did that take? 1.5 seconds from Rice heading the ball to Vlasic heading the ball to Antonio kicking it after the keeper saved it. 1.5 seconds, all done.
I know. Yeah, but we've really. I mean, that's the one gripe that I've got, and it probably does come down to not. I don't even think it's fatigue. I think it's pressure, because even you look at Lanzini in the last game against Liverpool. You've got someone who's probably one of the most technically gifted players that we've got at the team. 99 times out of 100 he buries that, but for whatever reason, I think they're nervous, aren't they? I think there's clearly nerves in the team in that sort of final third, and I just think they've got to settle down a little bit.
Perhaps it came too quick in the game, but and there's a bit of me that thinks perhaps if Vlasic had had more game time, would it? And this is the thing when Moyes, I don't want to be complaining, but when he picks players and drops them and switches them, he's got these 4 players. He's trying to find 3 positions, and he's running through Lanzini, Fornals, Vlasic, and they're all being, and Ben Rama, they're all being dropped or subbed and everything, and getting upset. And they're conscious that actually the day the game they're picked, if they don't do something special, it's like Moyes is going to drop them again.
Yeah.
And that puts pressure on them.
You know, it's funny because when what you're taught as a player is when a ball comes one way, you're meant to direct it back where it came from,
back across the goal.
And in a way, that's what I think Vlasic tried to do. So I think Nigel's right. It actually was probably a better save than we give the goalie a credit for.
Do you know he had time to bring it down, and actually it was like chest height. I think he even had time to sort of just bring it down and
he might have done, but as Nigel said, in that moment, you're thinking just and in a way the goalie got a good hand on it, and because when we first saw it, we thought, why didn't he go in the near corner? But I think the goalie would have had an easier save if it had gone the other way. So you're trying to sort of direct the ball back to where it came from. So he tried to head it, going back that direction, and the goalie got a good hand to it. I think it was a good chance, but you're absolutely right. Let's not go into not having a striker, but a natural striker would have gobbled up the rebound.
Yeah, but you don't know that. But and this is the thing I pick. Natural strikers
would have had a chance
chances.
to. True. All right. Let me rephrase. Would have probably been more instinctive for that rebound. Would have been probably more instinctive. So
that wasn't in any way the right choice what he did there. I mean, because me personally, even though the ball was cushioned back. And yes, he did have to. Well, he only had to generate his own power if he wanted to do a bullet header. I don't even think he needed to do a bullet header. He was only 10 yards out. He just had to direct the ball, just head it low. I don't think it was like a flying headbutt. I don't think he really needed to do that.
I think that's the thing. I think if he'd have done, the thing you said there was about the good headers in that position, try and head the ball downwards, because that is getting the keeper. That was a good height for that is a good height for the keeper, because it was the same level as what he was. So he only had to die.
Yeah.
If he'd have had to go down, he would have probably scored.
I'm going to be a little bit more straightforward. Vlasic should have scored that.
He should have scored it.
I don't think he's letting the keeper save that. At a certain distance either side of the keeper, and it's a goal, the keeper does not have a chance of saving it. He gave the keeper a chance.
But that's what I think, Gary. I think he did try to put it to the side of it. People said it went straight at the key. It didn't. The keeper.
It was central though. Still, it weren't. It was
a good height for the keeper, but if it went straight at him, he would have caught it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on to the Sevilla goal. Zuma gives away a foul, and then Sevilla execute a perfect training ground move that sees Munir, or El Hadidi, whatever his name is, arrive in acres of space, unchallenged, to finish, beautifully on that half volley. Question one, what happened there, Stel? Just a great goal, or were we sloppy?
We were a little bit sloppy in our defense. In our defender, you could see it because we were quite high up.
Yeah,
we saw all the defenders being dragged across, and like this fella was like was it Mir or Munir, whichever one. Munir. Standing just out on the outside, waiting for the ball to be floated across. But fantastic control. You cannot deny the finishing. It was class. It was a class finish.
It was.
But he had all the time in the world.
Do you think it had anything to do with the fact that we hadn't prepared for him, because he replaced Rakitic, and he's a different type of player to Rakitic? He's obviously Rakitic kind of he sits deep and he controls midfield, whereas that bloke was really attacking, wasn't he?
True, but hopefully the coaching staff would have done their job on not only those players that they thought would start, but also the backups, Munir, and they had a whole host of players that they could have played, and Munir would have been one of the dangerous players that they would have said keep an eye on. Now, I've not seen him play, and I don't know if he does that late run in regularly. I've no idea, but that was a training ground. It was a training ground error by West Ham, but a fantastic training ground goal.
It was
Seville.
And it was a brilliant finish, wasn't it?
It was a great finish. There was no chance for the keeper. He was blindsided because he had so many players in front of him, and to slide it into that far corner with all those players in front of him was superb.
No, it was.
Picked his spot.
I agree. Okay, well, let's move on to the third and final talking point before we give our sort of final thoughts on the game. And I've just picked out Ben Johnson. You've got to give him a mention. What a performance he produced up against some technically really gifted players, and he was flawless. Even his delivery in the final third was on point. A proper, real good, mature performance. Gary, what were your thoughts on his performance?
I thought he was fantastic. They actually picked him out at half time. Joey Cole and Carlton Cole to review his performance for first 45, and he was like you say, flawless. In both areas of the pitch, especially defending, they just never got any change out of him whatsoever. He's such a bright defender, and I always feel really comfortable when someone gets one-on-one with him. But going forward, that is the area he needs to improve. But nonetheless, he looked really comfortable going forward the other night.
He did. He was good. He had good quality as well. His passing was good as well.
Is it, do you think? I noticed the other night and in a recent game where he's not asked to get too far forward. Do you remember that Southampton game where he's 3/4 of the way up the pitch?
Yeah.
Right. And he wasn't very effective. I think when he goes forward to like the halfway line or just past the halfway line, I think he's a lot more effective playing cute balls up the line and playing a sort of long ball in. I don't think it necessarily suits him charging down the line 3/4 of the way up the pitch.
I thought he was outrageous. Even did you see him switching play yesterday?
Yeah.
He's crossfield passing, There's some people that were saying that Aaron Cresswell, who sort of he applauded one of his crossfield passes was a piss take, but it wasn't a piss take. It was it was brilliant. He switched play. I think he was outstanding. And like I do think he may have been. I think they was targeting Johnson, but it weren't working because he was coping with everything. And they weren't going to get past him at all in that game.
As Gary said, if you look back at that Southampton game, for me, I thought Moyes played the wrong formation. I gave him 0 out of 10 on more than just podcast.
Yeah.
Moyes for the way he set the team up. Johnson playing the wing backs. They called it 3-5-2, but Moyes becomes a 5-3-2. And what that did was it allowed Southampton to have the run of the wings when we were defending.
Yeah.
Now he's played a 4-5-1. That gives someone in front of each right back and left back. Johnson does need that help.
He does.
And it shows, but he's a great defender when he's got someone that can help him.
Yeah.
And also going forward, he knows he's got someone that will tuck him that he can play off. He can play the ball up to, and then he'll go.
He is our best right back, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I honestly do. I think it was the Southampton games. I think it was Moyes that sold us a pup in playing 3-5-2, and actually it exposed Johnson to criticism for something. He ain't a wing back.
No,
so
no, he didn't play into his strengths, did he?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I don't think. Anyway, well, as we know, the game finished 1-0. Nigel, what were your thoughts on the game overall?
Well, I thought we'd lose out there by 1 goal.
Yeah,
and we did. And it was. I thought though the performance was pretty decent. I think we had 50% less shots on target to them, but that's going to happen, isn't it? When you're playing away in Europe, we were very tight. They scored that 1 goal. They had half chances. I don't remember Areola pulling off too many top draw saves, but that was more to do with the fact that the defence held up. You know, the goal was a training ground move, and they fooled us. And I think that's. All the defenders drop back probably as they're told to do as the ball comes in, or naturally they do it, you know, and they just caught us cold. The thing to do is everybody says is you want to be in the game come London Stadium. At 2-0, it would have been obviously a lot tougher, but 1-0, can we beat them 2-0 at home? Of course we can.
I think so.
Even if it's just 1-0 and it goes to penalties, then it's a lottery. But hey, we've not lost we've done everything in our ability. And I'll say this to people. If you look back in West Ham's history on European runs, if you go back to the 60s, you go back to the 70s and 80s, 1976, we got to the final. We lost, I think, 4-2 away at Den Haag. We lost again, or I think we lost 3-1 away at Den Haag. 4-2, I think we lost away at Eintracht Frankfurt. What did we do? We brought them back to Upton Park. We smashed the life out of them and went through. Yeah, we did it again against Castilla. We lost 3-1 away against Castilla at a play at Upton Park with no fans. Last time in Spain, in Europe. And we beat them 3-1 in 90 minutes, 5-1 after extra time. You know, very famous game now. So this is the West Ham of old. You know, we could do 2-3.
You know, for me,
I think we could.
I think we can, because for me, if we the last 3 games we've created loads of chances. We even created chances.
Oh, we have. We
created and if we weren't creating chances, I think our chances would be slim on Thursday. But because of the fact that we can't go barren another game. You know, creating all those chances and missing so many chances. We missed chances against Southampton. We missed chances against Liverpool, and now against Seville as well. You know, all right. We got Villa tomorrow, but I just don't think we can go barren again. I think we're gonna, that tap in from Antonio aside against Southampton. I think we got a couple of goals, in us easy. I think we'll win. I think we'll win. The thing is to stop them from scoring on Thursday.
I'll tell you the one thing I don't know if you see it that I thought Seville did do or didn't do was they didn't give away a lot of free kicks around the area.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
So I think they've realised actually.
How
He
dangerous we
said that
are.
before the game. I think he said that before. You saw the coach when they gave that free kick away, the one that we should have scored. You saw the coach going fucking mental.
Yes, he was up there like that.
He was going mad
on the touchline and everything. So they've done, they have done their own work on us. They know. So he's probably told them, do not give fouls away around the edge of the box because we've probably got a 50% strike rate.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Well, Stel, you answered your question as well. I was going to say, do you think we have anything to fear in a return leg? And you're feeling confident. So you know that we
I feel confident. I feel confident. We just got to make sure we stop them from scoring because that for me is. But defensively, we've not been that bad.
I think the most important thing that we've got to do, we've got to be more clinical. We're creating chances. We're not scoring them. If we don't score goals, we ain't going to win games. It's as simple as that. But right, and Gary, were you pleased with the performance overall? And a bit of a curveball. Does Moyes, we'll get onto this later in a bit more detail, but does Moyes rest players on Sunday against Villa, or will he go full strength?
He'll go full strength. I don't think he'll rest players. Having said that, even if Bowen was on the verge of being fit, I think he would still be rested for Thursday. I mean, let me just say, the other night, I found that magical watching that game. I mean, God knows what it must have been like to be there, because to be for West Ham, for little old West Ham to be taking part in an event like that, I absolutely adored every minute of it. And I know there was a 10-minute period after they scored where we were feeling a little bit vulnerable. We were thinking maybe they're going to beat us 2 or 3-0. Fact is, they didn't. 1-0 is a really great score for us to take back to London Stadium. It's game on, and it's going to be. I've got to get rid of fucking COVID because I've got to get. I want to go down to London Stadium on Thursday.
just keep a mask on, mate.
Go, mate.
That's what I'll do. I'm going to mask myself up and go down
anyway.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's what I'll do. I'll just go.
Ken Tanlin loves John, by the way. He loves John. There you go.
Yeah, you're welcome.
John commented on that earlier.
John loves Kennington Len. Fucking hell. I'll tell you. Don't shut up about him.
I can't find the comment, but John said, "Why is Nigel calling himself John?"
Yeah.
Face off.
Yeah. Look, Paul Evans said their manager was shitting it all game, showed him on TV, twitching. They couldn't wait for the game to end. They couldn't. That's the thing. Look,
they're going to be really nervous on. I think that, as a good a team as they are in this competition, we offer something different. They probably like playing the other European teams, don't they? Like Italian teams and all that sort of crap. Whereas for us, look at Antonio. Antonio's finally coming back to life. It's as if he's had his fucking battery recharged, because he was good on Thursday, and for a while they can cope with him, and they're going to be afraid of someone like him, open up spaces, etc. There's only one part of the game that we all went, oh, typical, where Antonio got the ball out wide and crossed it in, and Antonio wasn't there to head it in. But
that really irritated me, because that was a point in the second half where we was obviously chasing the game. Antonio has busted a gut like he was all game. He ran down, and do you know what? Not one of our support players, not Suchek or anyone else, no one gambled. He literally won that ball, and he put a lovely cross in. Not one player gambled and followed that in to look for it. He put in the perfect cross.
Nick, you're the only one on the planet who saw it like that, right? Me and John were sitting here talking and watching the game together, right? When he was in hospital, we were having a chat. When Antonio's put that across, we both said, he ain't looked up, has he? He's just crossed it to no one.
But why
he didn't look up.
But he won the ball and he's put a cross in the right area. You should have played,
because there was no one there. There was no one there. He's crossing to no one. It was pointless.
I think there were players just outside, across the other side. If he chipped it across, I think there were 1 or 2 players, maybe waiting for that. It was a good ball. It was a good ball.
The point is, you need players that are going to gamble with crosses. You need players that are going to run in and support him, and that was supposed to be Suchek's job in that instance.
I knew it. It didn't take long. It didn't take long for you to bash Suchek. There you go. I knew it.
There you go. That's my Suchek bashing out the way. So the Sevilla player some lasagna before the match, tried and tested method. Indeed, yes, it is. Works every time. Okay, well, look, let's move on to the player ratings. Right.
I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, no worries. There we go. Right. New format. Right. Shall we just crack on then? So for Fabianski, not Fabianski, Areola. How about you, Nigel? What are you thinking for Areola in terms of a score for this?
I gave him on 6foot2.co.uk. I gave him 7 out of 10.
Gave him 7 out of 10. He didn't do anything wrong, did he?
No, he didn't.
No.
No.
He didn't do anything wrong. How about yourself, Stel?
I'd give him a 7 or 8. I think he made one save where the ball sort of fizzed across where he had to tip it over the bar, which looked like it could have gone. It could have easily have gone in. And for me, 7 or 8. He had not much. He didn't have much to do.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, that's fine. So we go. So he's got a 7. There you go. Right, Stel, let's go over to Cresswell. What were your thoughts on Cresswell in that game?
People said he had a bad game. I thought he was all right. I think the whole defense was solid. I'd give him a 7.
7 as well. How about yourself, Nige?
Yeah, I too gave Cresswell 7. I mean, I could make it easy and just say I didn't give anyone less than 7.
No, no.
But yes, he got a 7.
I think he played well. I think the whole back line did. I think Dawson. A lot of people are bashing Dawson because of the headers that En-Nesyri kept on winning, but that weren't just Dawson. En-Nesyri was finding space in between Zuma and Dawson. He was just quite good in the air, that guy, and the deliveries were good. Most importantly, the deliveries were bang on, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
So you got, what's this? Cresswell, worst player for us. His age showed. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Funny enough, the readers of 6foot2.co.uk gave Cresswell a 6.2 average.
6.
Is that your new website, Nigel?
It's
6foot2.
New been updated as well.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yes, thank you. I'm looking at the scores now, so I'll chip in. So Areola got a 6.4, Cresswell got a 6.2.
Right. Okay. So, what do you reckon, Gary? 6 or a 7 for Cresswell?
Oh, 7. I thought he was fabulous in the first half.
I thought he played well. Played well. Look, weren't one of his. No, but having said that, I don't think we could have had any weak links in that. If we'd have had players playing shit in that game, you would have known.
You would have known.
We were playing against a very, very, very good side.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we'll go 7. Right, let's go to the other side. Johnson. Go to you, Gary.
Johnson, I'll give him an 8.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty flawless for me.
I'd go higher than that. I'd probably go 9 for Johnson. But what do you reckon, Stel, Nigel?
I'd go for 8.5.
Yeah,
because I know you haven't got a 0.5, have you?
No, so it's got to be an 8. I think.
So I'll give him. I think for his first half performance, he was superb. For a young boy of that age to play in Europe and put in a performance like that against an excellent professional, well-versed team like Seville, go for 9. Why not?
Yeah, I think it was worthy of a 9. I do. You happy with that, Nigel?
I gave him an 8, and the readers give him an average of 7 exactly.
God, really? Your readers are harsh, Nigel.
Oh, shouldn't they?
They are.
I think so, because I'm looking at some of the other scores. You wait till we get lower down.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to Dawson. Nigel, let's go to you for Dawson.
Actually, I did give Dawson a 6.
Yep. I think that's fair.
He got an average of 6.3 on the website. So,
Stel?
Yeah. Love him for what he's done, and he got his arse in the way of a couple of blocks, didn't he? I think. What do you expect for a £2.5 million player playing in Europe? I think he did all right. 7, 6 is fair. 6 is fair.
Yeah. Would Gary have I come to you yet on that one? Are you happy with that?
I think he was he played well, but he was the weakest defender, so I'd give him a 6.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, John. He'll be seething in his hospital ward. He will. Right.
But they can give him something for that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Right. Nigel, Kurt Zuma.
I gave him an 8.
Yeah, I think that was. Although, do you know what? He did play well, but like I said to you early on in that game, En-Nesyri kept getting across him. He kept getting across him. Them crosses were coming in, and En-Nesyri was ghosting from behind him, and it happened twice. And he got past Zuma and got a header in. So I do think, for me, I would mark him down on that. It would have been an 8, but it weren't flawless because on a different day, En-Nesyri would have put one of them chances away.
Well, he got the second highest rating on the site, so
of
6.8 as an average.
Bloody hell! That's the second highest rating.
That's the second. Yeah, you know when you. I'm looking at my scores. I'm looking at the averages, and I'm thinking, I think I'll bump them averages up because.
Yeah, look, John, bastards. Look, he's not happy. Zuma 8. Yeah, 8. Yeah, I think most people are.
Do you know, I would have given him an 8, but because he gave away the free kick.
Also, that is a good point. He also gave away the free kick that led to the goal. So he got
there before me. He got there before me, and that's why I give him a 7.
But hold up, you have to blame the people that should have been marking the bloke that scored, not the bloke that gave the free kick away, because loads of players give free kicks away.
Well, it starts from the free kick, doesn't it, Nigel?
Yeah, but loads of players give free kicks away around the edge of the box. If the defenders do the job properly, of which Zuma is obviously one of them, though, but if the defenders do the job properly, they pick it up. I don't think you can mark him down for giving a free kick away.
Cat Zuma 7 from Andy Like My Dreams. Okay. Well, look, it's a democracy. So I'm going 7. Stell's going 7. Nigel, you're going 8. Gary, what are you going?
I'm going 7.
Okay, 7.
Only because of the free kick. Otherwise, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Thomas Souček. Let's go to Stel. Souček. Go on.
I think he had I think he had a decent game. I think he played all right. I give him a 7.
Right. Right. Right, Nigel.
I'm really worried about your readers.
No, well, I gave him a 7.
A 7.
The readers have averaged him as a 6.
Yeah,
all right, that's not so bad.
Sorry, a little point. I've got to raise it, right? Because I remember this now. I was trying to think of it a minute ago. Is that the ball that was given to Zuma was a hospital ball by Fornals?
Yeah, no, Fornals didn't play well. He's one player who didn't play well.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Okay. So Souček. So Gary, what's your score on Souček?
7. 7.
You're a 7. Stell's a 7. Nigel, you're what are you, 6? Or are you
7? The readers were a 6.
Bastards. Well, I've got to give him a 7.
No, but what would you give him without
I gave him a 7. I gave him a 7.
Without being biased, Nick, what would you have given him?
I would have given him a 6. I think his passing was awful. He made one very good challenge. His passing was terrible, mate.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
mate.
We all have a go at Antonio for not being able to finish because strikers need to be able to finish. Well, fucking midfielders need to be able to pass the ball, and he can't pass it. Right, so anyway.
Listen, on WhatsApp, just as you were going into one of your rants about Souček, he played a beautiful little 1-2 and then spanked the ball from the edge of the box and it nearly went in. You nearly ate your words there, didn't you?
Yeah, what do you mean? Do you mean the shot? Do you mean the shot that Antonio held up, laid off to him, and he was central to the goal, 18 yards out with no one around him, and he smashed it straight down the keeper's throat.
And he had a wonderful shot, Nick. A wonderful shot.
Straight down the keeper's throat. The bloke caught it.
Wonderful shot and a great save, Nick. That's what it was.
Right. Okay. Anyway, Declan Rice. Okay, let's go to Gary. Go on, Declan Rice on that one.
Declan Rice, I thought he was really, really good the other night. I mean, it's those what he did, that tackle on Martial in the second half where he just took the ball off him. He was a cut above. And to think he was coming back from illness as well. So was he feeling completely himself? I don't know.
No, but he definitely weren't, because in the first half he was sitting back. You could see he was preserving himself a little bit, wasn't he?
So I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I'd go 8 on Rice. I'll be happy with that. Nigel?
Yeah, he wins the David Bowie Award on the website because he's the star man. I gave him an 8, and he averages 7.1, which is the
Oh
highest.
my word!
Yeah.
It's an open vote, but he did win, as I said, the David Bowie Award for the Star Man of the team.
Okay. So Stel, you happy with 8?
I think he actually shone. I mean, apart from Johnson, I think he shone even amongst the Seville players.
Yeah,
I would have given him a 9. For his performance, and given
he did nothing wrong, but so the reason I'm not giving him a 9 is because I think we missed him. There was no surging runs or anything from him in the first half. He just sat deep, and I think
he was told to do that. That's not him. That's not him deciding to do that.
I think we missed that at times, and I think every now. I don't expect him to do it all the time throughout a game, but every now and then, when we was under the cosh, there was a few times where the game opened up in front of him a little bit, and normally Declan Rice would just carry the ball, but he didn't this time. So he did play brilliantly, but like I say, it won his best game for me.
I think he was massively disciplined. Like Stel said, that's what he was told.
Yeah.
You don't leave the back door open for Sevilla, do you?
No, right.
No.
Lanzini, Nigel.
I gave him a 7. He's got 5.9 rating.
I thought he was excellent. I thought he looked like he was going to get a red card in the end, which is why Moyes brought him off. But I think he was tenacious. He helped us keep the ball. When those passages of play where we did retain the ball, Lanzini's in the middle of all that. He does things very, very sort of. Yeah, he's superb. I think he played. He won his best game, but he was important in that game for us. He really was. So I would go for the same. Gary, what would you go for Lanzini?
I'll go 7 for Lanzini. Very busy game, very industrious.
Still
7 for me. Yeah, I thought he was good. I think this is the sort of game he relishes these types of European games. I think he did well. 7.
Let's go to Vlasic first. Right, Vlasic next. Stelios, tell us about Vlasic.
I just want a little bit more from him, but but he was industrious.
Yeah.
And maybe what Nigel said earlier, if he played a little bit more regularly, I wonder what sort of Vlasic we'd be seeing now at the business end of the season when we really now rely on him.
Yeah.
I think it's a harsh 6. I'll give him.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I think he may have got a 7 if he hadn't have fucked that chance up, but that was a fuck up.
He didn't fuck the chance up. It was a good save.
Well, mate, it weren't. It was straight at him. I could have saved it.
It was. Nigel's just explained to you that if it was straight at him, he would have caught it.
I could have saved it. Honestly. But right, Nigel, go on. What are you giving Vlasic?
Well, I thought it was one of his best games for West Ham, which ain't saying a lot. To be fair to the poor bloke, but he got 5.8 on the website, but I gave him 7.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't go as high as a 7 for him.
For me, I think he gave a 7 performance in the first half. I
agree with that.
I thought he was great in the first half. You remember back to the Spurs game in the League Cup, he was great in the first half for that one as well. So we're inclined to agree a little bit with Stel that he's lacking match fitness because he fades away from games as they go on. So I'd give him a 7 for the first half, a 5 for the second half, so a 6.
A 6, yeah. I think I'll be happy with that as well. A 6.
Oh, now we got 2 7s and 2 6s.
Right, okay.
So I'm inclined, in order to give him a 7, I'm inclined to put my score up to 8, so he ends up getting a 7, just to really piss you off.
You can't do that.
I've just done it. So, you got the point. Oh, there you go. 6. I'm happy with the 6.5.
6.5.
That's
okay.
Right.
Right. So Pablo Fornals, Nigel.
Again, I gave him a 7, but the
I think he was sloppy. I think he was
5.8.
Yeah.
So perhaps I see things. I was pleased with the performance, and that's why I've given people 7s and 8s.
Yeah. I agree. Look, he's as important to the team as he's always important to the team. But against the Spanish team, I was expecting him to shine. I don't think he did. He didn't shine. In my and some of his passing unusually was wasteful as well. He was making some. There was some.
Well, he stayed on the pitch longer than any of the others that got subbed. So, perhaps Moyes saw it the way I did.
Yeah, yeah. What do you reckon, Gary?
I reckon we had a very average game for him. I was expecting more, like you were. I'd mark him at a 6 or a 6.5.
6.5. We're gonna go. Stel, what do you reckon?
Yeah,
6, 7?
yeah, not his best performance. 6.5, I think, will be fair.
Okay, we're gonna start doing half marks in by the looks of it. Okay. And finally, for the starting 11 anyway, Mikel Antonio, who for me I thought was absolutely tremendous, barring even with his fucking stupid air shot that he did. I think he ran that Jules Koundé, ragged at times. He was bashing that defense around. I think he was hungry.
He was.
He was holding the ball up. He was creating chances. That was if he'd have scored, he would have got a 9. But for me, I would probably go an 8 for Antonio on that one. I don't know what you feel about that.
I'd do a 7.5 for me for Antonio. Yeah, I think the irony of it all. I've certainly been saying it that I thought he was getting more and more tired, and out of the blue in the last 3 games, he really is sort of really pumped up for it. I don't know what they're feeding him. I hope he doesn't get asked for a blood test or a pee test anytime soon, because his whole demeanor's changed, isn't it?
Yeah, he was good. He looks really hungry. He looks really hungry now.
7.5, 8. Happy with it.
Okay. Nigel, what do you reckon?
Well, this is where my website readers really baffled me, because I gave him an 8.
Yeah.
His average is 6.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
No, some people are just so critical of him.
Have you got Nigel? Have you got AD manipulating the figures in the background?
No, I don't know. This is,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't, but it baffles me. The good thing about Marseille is you can't see what the average is until you put your scores in.
Right. Okay. So you've got to vote.
You can't really influence what other people have done. You put your scores in, and then it spits out what the average is.
Yeah.
So I've just entered my scores in, and he's surprised. So I'm seeing the average for the first time while I'm sitting here. It does baffle me, to be honest.
Right. So we've got 8 7s, 8 7s, 8 7. There's a lot of 8s there. So for me, I'm happy. I'm happy with a 7.5. Are you all happy with that? 7.5 for Mickey. Yeah. I think it was a good performance. If he'd have scored that bloody chance, which he should have. I mean, I don't know what he did there. That was bizarre, wasn't it? That's the sort of thing. That was like Gary in front of goal. That was.
I would have fucking put that away. Don't you worry about that.
Right. Let's go to the Algerian wizard, Ben Rama.
Yeah.
I thought for 5 minutes, Ben Rama, when he came in, I thought, fuck, we're going to get a performance from Ben Rama.
Yeah, he looked good until he found somewhere to hide. He
looked really good, and then he just completely went missing again. I mean,
I love these. Look, he was. To be fair, when he came on, he gave us. I think Vlasic was starting to look shit. Vlasic had just put a completely stupid cross in with his left foot. Moyes hauled him off. Ben Rama came on, and he did for 5 minutes to 10 minutes. I think he kind of it was a good change. It was a really good change. I think he was, he always takes 56 touches more than what he has to on the ball, but he drove us forward, and he was really successful. He weren't getting knocked off the ball. I don't know whether it was because he looks hungry when he came on, but then, like you say, he did seem to fade. He seemed to fade after about 10 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah,
a little bit. But yeah, so I don't know, what score would you give him?
I'd give him a 6.
Yeah, for the time he was on, I'd probably go 6.5 because I think he did give us a little bit of a push when he first came on. What do you reckon, Stel?
Yeah, I'd be comfortable with a 6.5. I think like that last comment, when he came on, he looked really up for it, and he looked like pretty lively, and he looked like he was going to take the game to Seville.
Yeah,
but he didn't maintain it, which is a shame. But 6.5, I think, is fair.
Yeah. Nigel, you happy with that?
Well, the readers give him 6.4 as an average.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that may be
quite high.
I gave him an 8.
Right, okay. You gave him an 8. An 8, bloody hell.
Well, I thought he was the best sub to come on.
It was a good sub. It was a good sub.
And I thought he did more than, I'm not being harsh on Vlasic, but I thought he played better in the 25, 30 minutes he was on than Vlasic did in the hour that Vlasic was on. So I thought it was only fair that if I'm giving Vlasic a 7, I should give Ben Rama an 8.
Nigel, do you reckon Benny starts over Vlasic at home next week?
Yeah.
No, because I think Benny will start tomorrow. Well, let's see what he does tomorrow, because it could be he might fancy giving Vlasic a run out, and if Vlasic then puts in another semi-performance, he may not get the nod on Thursday.
So are we going 6.5?
Probably, yeah.
I think. Well, what have we got? You got an 8. You got a couple of 6.5s. 7 in total, or not? Is that
no? I think 5. I don't think he had a 7 game, right? And then finally, Mark Noble, a bit difficult to score him.
Can I just say one thing about Noble is that at that point in the game when he came on, I know it was late when he came on, but at that point,
common influence.
We would carry on pushing forward and trying to get a goal. And we didn't need to. 1-0 was fine, right? Just take that result back to London Stadium. It's fine, if you can push forward, if an opportunity comes your way, great. But there's no need to push for an opportunity and potentially leave the back door open with 10 minutes to go. And he came on and he was a calming influence. He made sure that the result stayed as it did.
Bloody hell, Paul. 9. As John in disguise, that is.
Yeah.
He's changed his name. So what would you give him? A 7? I think from the time he came on, from the minutes he was on the pitch. Is that a bit high? 7?
I don't know.
Well, I'd give him a 2. I mean, I just thought after the Burnley game and throwing that fan on the floor.
Over it, Nigel. Get over it.
No, I gave him a 7, and the readers give him an average of 6.
Okay. Well, should we go with 7 for notes?
Yeah. 7.
I was being kind, but I said 2 just to hopefully wind John up just for 30 seconds.
Okay. All right. Well, we won't touch on Moyes or the ref or anything like that. We'll just do our man in the match.
Arthur, he got on.
Hang on, the ref was really, really good. What a refreshing game to watch where the referee was hardly noticed.
Well, you say that. I mean, Lanzini got hauled down early on, fucking literally swung down by his shirt, gave nothing, and then Lanzini returned the favour and he got a yellow card for it.
Well,
but at the same time,
was really good.
At the same time, from early doors, the Sevilla players were diving all over the place, and he weren't falling for it.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was just telling him to get up. Yeah.
I'm going to make an executive decision here because I've got to be honest. If I'm giving Noble a 7 from the time he came on, we can't be giving Ben Rama a 6.5.
What are we giving him then?
It's got to be a 7, isn't it? I'm going to upgrade him. There you go. So everyone that says I'm a Ben Rama hater, I'm going to upgrade him to 7.
So very subjective this about the referee, isn't it? That referee was crap.
No, he wasn't.
I thought he was good. Alvin Martin on the radio as I drove home from work was very complimentary. So I heard the first 20 minutes of the game on radio, and Alvin thought the referee was handling the game well. He was just basically making sure the game flowed and weren't falling for Seville's antics.
Yeah, it's what Gary said. He didn't fall for any of that rubbish. He was a firm ref.
Yeah.
I think it was refreshing. I thought it. When you see what the referees do in the Premier League, how many times a game stop. Wasn't it one of you guys that said that when we go to a football match, we only see about 40 odd minutes of football?
Yeah, that's not true. You see about 58 minutes, but that is down from it used to be 65.
Right. Okay. Whereas it felt like there wasn't an awful lot of time being wasted in the game against Seville. I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't looked at the stats, but I think it was quite refreshing to see a referee ref the game the way he was firm. Gary said it. He didn't take any crap.
Apparently, look, Glenn Marshall says that ref. Where is it? Oh, I've lost it now.
Oh, it's there.
Gary's doing it. The ref gave 31 yellow cards in his previous 3 or 4 games. Fucking hell.
So what do I know about refs?
Yeah.
I think you just proved it.
Right, we've had 4 or 5 votes for man of the match, all for Johnson.
Yeah.
So far, would you agree with that, gents?
Yeah.
Well, by that scoring, yeah, he's got 9. All the rest haven't.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
No marks for Masuaku. I mean, Arthur, he came on the pitch.
I
I
can't
swear
remember.
he touched the ball. I
I
think
can't remember.
I gave him a 6 just for running on the pitch.
I gave him a 1 just for running on the pitch. How dare he?
Mm.
There we are. So there is our man of the match.
Yeah,
Okay.
brilliant.
Well, that's that section done. Right, 1 minute. Let's close that. Okay. Right. Right. Well, thanks for that, and also to all you lovely people in the chat. Some great comments in there as well. Thanks for taking part in the player ratings. And please remember, sort of hit the like button if you like what you're watching. It does help us. And if you're new around here and you enjoy what we're doing, subscribe to our channel as well. Click that bell icon so that you can be alerted whenever we schedule shows, and you'll also get notified when we go live as well. So that's that section done. We're going to move on to Gary's news.
The pre-recorded news this week, which is great.
Yeah, good idea.
And now, for our Claret and Booze news. Well, Hammer's news, not the rest of the shit that we don't care about. Being delivered expertly and succinctly, that's easy for you to say, by our very own Gary.
So first, on to a very sad story, a sad tale of woe, involving Chelsea Football Club and Roman Abramovich, their rich benefactor of the last 19 years. Poor Roman Abramovich, he was sanctioned at last by the UK government this week, meaning that they froze all of his UK assets, including Chelsea Football Club, much to the hilarity of West Ham fans like us. What does this mean, though, for Chelsea on a day-to-day basis? I mean, first, it means they can continue to compete in football matches, but it means, as a trading entity, they can't, from my understanding, they can't generate new money. So that means that they can't sell tickets, apart from to the season ticket holders that already own their tickets. They can't sell merchandise. They can't sell players. They can't even loan players. And you've got to bear in mind, they've got 24 players out on loan at the moment because, as we know, it's a kind of loan battery farm that dodgy old Russian has created across there. So about time they stopped all that nonsense. Probably, more than likely, those poor 28,000 season ticket holders won't even be able to buy a hot dog at the next home game. So all very sad for Chelsea. I'm gutted personally, but in the Times last weekend, it was reported, and this is a related topic, that Daniel Kretinsky would perhaps have massive exposure due to his investments in Gazprom, among other Russian companies. Now, it turns out Gazprom is still trading. It's one of the exclusions, oil and gas, or at least gas at the moment. So that's still running. And his exposure is only something like 500 million from a fortune of billions, or a portfolio of billions. So the exposure is insignificant, really, and it's not going to impact West Ham, which is good news. We all like that. Nothing we like more. Nothing we like worse than a billionaire owner who goes broke. So good news. But going back to the main topic, let's all laugh at Chelsea. What does it mean for them? What does it mean for Chelsea? And what does it mean for other dodgy football club owners who are trying to sports wash their way out of trouble?
There we go. That's recorded news number 1. So you're from the Chelsea area, Stel. So let's take this one to you.
Well, I checked the leasehold on my Mayfair apartment and made sure that I wasn't going to be affected in any way, and I'm absolutely fine because it isn't owned. The freehold isn't owned by a Russian, so there you go.
Oh, good.
Listen, I mean, it's great, isn't it? We can all laugh at them, but you know what the outcome's going to be, don't you?
Yeah.
The outcome is going to be that they're going to slip out of this. They're going to be allowed to, or Abramovich is going to be allowed to sell the club to yet another billionaire, and they're going to carry on buying trophies. That's the outcome, unfortunately. But it's great while it lasts because it's Preparing a bid as we speak. Yeah, here's a fiver. I don't feel sorry for them. You know,
No.
if you win trophies because you bought them, then you suffer when the money runs out.
Yeah.
And I don't feel sorry for them one bit, to be honest
No.
with you.
Not at all. Not at all.
There was a report in the Athletic where they said that they expect exactly what you just said. They expect Chelsea to somehow manage to be sold in the next couple of months, and because there are a couple of buyers lined up, but they're just questioning the sanity of if you're an investor, for instance, it would have to be a benefactor, not an investor. And are there any benefactors out there? Because he has been a benefactor to the tune of $1.5 billion that he's pumped into Chelsea in the form of outstanding loans.
Yeah,
to Chelsea at the moment.
it will change the dynamics of Chelsea going forward, but they're not going to be poor. You know, it will change the dynamics. You know, they will they be able to still compete with the likes of, I don't know, PSG and Man City, etc. Probably they'll find a way. I just don't.
It does all depend on the next owner they get in though, because not every owner is going to be like Abramovich. So they're not.
No,
they're not
true.
gonna be, you know.
And
And
I think
are they not saying, because I heard on TalkSport today that essentially they will be allowed. There will be dispensation given for a sale, but on the stipulation that Roman Abramovich makes no profit from the sale, which means he can't make any profit from what he sold it for. So he's almost got to give it away because he's built that club up. He's built that club up massively. So he has almost got to give it away. Do you think he's going to do that?
Well, hang on a minute. How can he give it away? There are also is 1.5 billion of liabilities on the balance sheet at the moment. There's two loans, totaling 1.5 billion owed to Abramovich. So how can it be so? I just don't understand how it can be sold without him having.
He'll have to write that off, wouldn't he?
He would.
He'd have to write
That's
that
what
off.
I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, so 1.5 billion loans and then having to sell it for, I mean, I don't know, 1.5 billion as well. Well, I don't understand how Abramovich will find a way. He's got smart lawyers, smart accountants. He'll find a way where it will look like the money's not going to him, but the money will go to him.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel a bit differently. I think I don't know why the government are doing, and there's a thing about football ownership is it's easy to laugh. Gary has seen a tweet I put out today. It's easy to sit back and laugh at Abramovich and what he's going through. Well, then do we start looking at every owner like that then in every football club? Because we've just allowed Saudi Arabians to buy a football club that are bombing the shit out of Yemen.
Yeah.
So this is the point for me. If Abramovich wants to do something decent, give it to the Chelsea pitch owners.
Yeah.
That's already set up. Give them the Chelsea Football Club as well, and then you've got real fan ownership there.
Do you credit Abramovich with actually really caring about Chelsea, though, or do you?
Yeah, I do.
You do.
I do. I tell you, and this is the funny thing is people say people don't realise. His money ain't bankrolled that club for years. Do you know they made 130 odd million from transfer sales last season? Yeah, 90 million of it by selling youth product players.
Yeah, but the way they're doing things, I don't think that should particularly be allowed. You know, the way they've got that battery farm of youth players where they corner the market, and Man City are going the same way as well, where they corner the market on hundreds and hundreds of players and they filter them down. And they get it to the point where, as I mentioned earlier, 24 players are out on loan to other professional clubs, be it in this country or all around Europe and the world. Surely that's not right, is it?
But then that's up to other clubs to sort that out. I mean, listen, the thing about it is, what is right and wrong in the Premier League, that's a whole different show. Yeah. When we look at it in a way, there's far more things wrong with the Premier League, and I think ownership is at the top of the list. Abramovich, I thought it was a strange move by the government. You know, I've said it before. The thing is, I don't think the war sits well with him. He'd already said if he sells Chelsea, he was going to give the money, to the Ukrainian disaster fund.
Yeah.
So by by us sanctioning him and doing that, and this is the thing, all the photos they pull up and show us on the news of Putin of Abramovich are from over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing for me. It's especially in regards to football ownership, the way the football's gone. We stand with Ukraine and everything else. Well, but as people know, we sell bombs and anti-tank missiles and everything to Saudi Arabia. So
no, we absolutely do. And I mean, without it turning into a political discussion around the whys and why-fors of NATO and why Russia got felt the need to go to war, and all that sort of stuff. That I personally would be completely in favour. I mean, this is what should have happened. Around vetting the ownership of football clubs properly. There's no way Saudi should have been allowed to take over a football club.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with Kretinsky is that he owns a 45% share in the pipeline company that supplies gas from Russia to Europe. Now, strangely enough, for all Europe's pontificating, they've not turned off the tap of gas from Russia into Europe. So, but his company, I think it's called like EP something, has been put on a watch list by financial analysts.
But that's all that's happened. There's no sanctions on them.
Yes, there's no sanctions on him, but it does, what that will do though is hinder his credibility.
Right.
And I think that will cause a problem if the so-called sale was going to go through next year. I mean, there's a bit of me that goes, well, isn't that typical? We've already been owned by the biggest bankrupt in history. And just when we get another billionaire to turn up, a foreign billionaire, if you're a foreign billionaire and you want to own West Ham, you're going to be looking at the Icelandics and you're going to be looking at Kretinsky and you think, oh, do you know what? Are they a bit of a bot?
Give that a miss.
I think he ain't going to go bust, is he? Because he's got other fingers in the pie, and I know the biggest part of his income is that. But but this is the thing. West Ham's a plaything, isn't it? Yeah. But if you're financially dented, what's the first thing to go? Playthings. And that's the difference. I'm not saying he's going to go bust, but what I'm saying is it may make him think twice of coughing up the other 500 million quid it's going to cost him to buy the club. Yeah.
But anyway, look, to summarise, I really genuinely hope Chelsea go bust and go out of business. I mean, I'm just, it's just a personal thing.
Yeah. But personally, I echo Thomas Murphy.
Well said, Thomas. Succinct, straight to the point. Yeah, good point.
I think if it happens, which it won't. If they do go bust, they get what they deserve. Like I said, you buy trophies and then you pay the consequences.
I mean, when you
money
say
runs out.
you buy trophies,
they bought trophies.
But hold up. But didn't Man City?
Yeah.
So they're not the only ones. Yeah.
Man United.
Man United did it in a slightly different way over the years. Of course,
still. Fergie went out and bought the biggest players. Yeah, let's go back to Liverpool. How far do you want to go back? Yeah, when Liverpool bought up all the best British talent that was out there.
Yeah,
and won trophies in the 80s. Buying trophies is not a thing. If West Ham had 500 million pounds to spend, went out and bought the players and won trophies. The only way to win trophies is to buy the best players, and that's how you win the trophies.
Right. Well, we had 100 million.
You can't criticise people and throw at them. Oh, you only bought those trophies because that's the only way to win them.
There you go. Liverpool.
And that's the dilemma, isn't it?
Glenn Marshall.
Yeah, they did. That's what I just said. They bought. It was a bit different back then, but John Barnes was outstanding. Liverpool bought him. Yeah, they did gamble though on young players, buying the likes of Ian Rush from Chester, Alan Anson from Partick Thistle, Lawrenson himself actually, if you think, came from Brighton.
Yeah.
You know, not they looked and they picked wisely, but they still spent some big money. Dalglish was like a British transfer record, I believe. You know, when they sold Keegan. So, but that's like that, isn't it? Through history, as I say, you then go to Fergie in the 90s. You know, they bought, you know,
But the
2 years
backbone of
after
that
we
team-
sell Rio, they buy Rio.
The backbone of that team, and Fergie in the 90s, was a homegrown backbone. And I don't kind of resent, really. Man United are a huge club, a huge, great big worldwide operation, and so are Liverpool for their success that they've had in the 80s and the 70s as well. They're absolutely massive. No matter where you go abroad, they've got a...
But Man United. But Fergie had to buy a team to win the Premier League first. Yeah, Paul Ince, bought from us. Yeah, on the never. But you know, they found an injury that we never knew about it and got him half price. But he still bought the players. You know, he bought the likes of Steve Bruce in. Bought I thought Strachan was there. You know, but he bought a lot of decent players in. Bought Andy Cole.
Yeah.
Bought Cantona.
Yeah.
So yes. The team of the mid to late 90s, when they did the treble, that was built off of the back of the 5 or 6 of the boys of 92, which has never really been repeated or likely to be. But it was still cemented by people that were bought.
Yeah, no, that's it. But sort of going back to Chelsea, though, I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, you saw it yourself with Chelsea fans, you know, at the game the other day where they were singing. You know, when they were singing about Roman Abramovich, you know, during the Ukraine thing. I can't feel sorry for them. And I do genuinely. Do you know what?
Nick,
I would laugh.
Come on, if Roman Abramovich had bought West Ham and it was us, West Ham fans would have been singing Roman Abramovich. I'm sorry, they would.
You would side effectively. What they was doing was they was destroying. It was a memory. There was a thing towards Ukraine. That's what it was. There was.
And do you think that West Ham fans wouldn't do the same?
Well, I wouldn't do that personally.
That's different. Like it is a mess. Don't tell me that there are people out there. That's about society, not about what football club it is. It will happen.
But basically, fuck them is what I'm saying. I hope it goes badly.
Yeah, agreed.
And what I'm trying to say is, yes, I think they will be given dispensation to sell Chelsea. He will. I don't think he's going to be able to sell it to. He's going to have to sell it at a bargain. Which, do you know what? That means it's up for grabs. Which means it's even more dangerous because there's going to be some investors out there who probably ain't going to be Roman Abramovich's. Because it's only because of him that they've been this successful. You know, someone comes in and fucking asset strips a lot of them because their players must be worth a fortune. You know, they must be worth a fortune. So I hope they get.
I mean that. You know, at the end of the day, how he can sell a club and not give the money to the owner? Where does the money go then?
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is he's got to give it away. He might as well give it to the fans. One thing I will say to people: if they think Abramovich changed football, they should look back to Blackburn Rovers because there was the man that bought a trophy. He was the first person to try and buy his way into what he did. Abramovich took that to a different level. But the start of all this, people buying a football club and bankrolling it past it, was Jack Walker.
But I've got to say one thing though. I don't buy into the narrative that Abramovich loved Chelsea. I think that was a wonderfully convenient money laundering operation he had going on there, and I think he was trying to sports wash his reputation. He was trying to buy respectability by buying buying and creating a large West London football club. So,
well, the story is he wanted to buy Tottenham first, isn't it? Actually.
Yeah, thank God that didn't happen. You know what I mean? Because it's bad enough coping with Chelsea. Imagine having to cope with Tottenham.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I know.
Yeah,
I know. Okay, well, so what's your verdict then? How do you think this is going to go for Chelsea, Nigel? Would you if you could be Mystic Meg, you know what? How do you think it's going to play out for Chelsea?
Well, I think he'll give it. The only option for him is to give the club away, and sadly, what that means is the Ukrainian emergency appeal is going to miss out on £1 billion. Yeah, so well done to the government.
Yeah, indeed. How about you, Stel?
Yeah, I think you'll find in 5 or 10 years' time the true story that Abramovich has sold it, didn't make any money out of it. and has reaped the reward of it when we find out that he actually did make a bucket load of money out of it.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I-
That's what's going to happen.
I
You know,
agree.
he will sell it and claim, and his lawyers and his accountants will claim he is broke, that he hasn't made a penny. Absolute bollocks. We know he will.
I know.
We know he will.
I agree.
But the interesting thing is, I think he needs the money because he needs to run away and hide from Putin.
Oh, I think he does. Yeah.
I don't think he's in Putin's best books at the moment.
I think
To actually have offered the money for the like Nigel just said, to actually offer the money to help people in Ukraine because of the war. Clearly, I mean, as much as those photos of him of 10 years ago with Putin, etc., there's not a lot of people that are comfortable. Probably not a lot of rich Russians that are comfortable with what's going on at the moment.
No.
And he's probably one of them.
Oh, look, this is a good point. How about this? From Irish Tommy, does this mean we don't have to pay for Zuma?
Oh,
So we're not paying for Zuma. We're not paying for Vlasic. God, we're getting all our players for free.
We're not playing for that. You're not playing. That means we've got at least another £500,000 ready for the
I think what it does is it does mean we don't have to pay the next instalment because they had their bank accounts frozen and you got nothing to pay at the moment. The debt will still be there. So once the ownership is resolved and Abramovich is not owner, it don't wipe the debt clean. The debt will still have to be paid. It just won't be paid the next instalment, which is probably due in the summer.
This is where we need Len. We need Len to do one of his Sullivan impressions, don't we? He must be able to moon.
So let's move on. Let's move on to story number 2. Yeah, you ready?
Yep.
So we all love a transfer window, don't we? We're not in one at the moment, unfortunately, but no, don't worry. We'll soon be one around in the summer. And already the rumours have started linking us with some, top quality strikers. This week alone has seen us linked with, multiple articles as well, seen us linked with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, he's on 350 grand a week at Man United, but he is coming up to the last year of his contract, and I don't think he's going to be getting anywhere near 350 grand a week wherever he moves to next, unless it's abroad. I think this link myself is a little bit lazy. I think it's he's Lingard's mate kind of link. Anyone who socializes or has shared the same dressing room with Lingard or even walked past Lingard in the street will be linked with West Ham at some point or another. So I don't know whether to make whether there's any truth in this. I mean, personally, I'd like to see it because I think he's a great player. He is that kind of winger come striker that David Moyes seems to like. But I just struggle to believe there's any truth in the rumour. Moving on, we were also linked with Armando Broja. I wonder what happens to him now. He's with his contract situation at Chelsea. I mean, who knows? Only last week, just after Abramovich moved the club onto that charity, onto being run by that charitable organisation, they priced him at 58 million pounds. This is a guy who scored. He's only 20. He shows a lot of promise. He's got all the attributes of a classic number 9, but he has only scored 6 goals in 23 games. Let's just get that into perspective. 58 million pounds for someone who's probably as yet unproven. I know Nick's going to disagree with me on that one. Next on to Ivan Toney. Now, Ivan Toney, another one of Nick's loves. He scored 9 in 23, so more than Armando Broja. However, 3 of those were against Norwich at the weekend in a hat-trick, so we'll discount those. So basically, they're very similar. They're kind of, him and Broja and Toney are probably similar in terms of goal return, ability, impact on the Premier League. Only one's 20 and one is 25. Either way, I'd take any one of those 3 players, Rashford, Broja and Toney. In fact, I'd like Rashford and Broja because I'm greedy. Right. Also rumoured this week, strong rumour, was that Saeed Benrahma was being put up for sale and we were going to listen to offers for him. Now, I personally think if we get to the end of this season and he has continued to have the similar level of impact that he's had throughout this season so far, which is at best intermittent. I mean, he made a good start, but then his form has been usually quite bad. and it's had the odd little peak, but there's no form of consistency with Benrahma. So nothing convinces me so far that he is a regular Premier League starter. In fact, nothing convinces me that he's any more than a bench player. Right? That is my maybe harsh opinion. I know lots of people will disagree with me. So, first of all, 2 questions here. Let's talk about, first of all, the strikers. Any of this true? Do you fancy any of those players? Would you like to see us sign 1, 2, or 3 of those players? And finally, is it the right time to move Benrahma on?
So that's it. That's Nigel. Over to you.
No, I think if people don't want Marcus Rashford to play for West Ham, then they're watching football wrong.
Yeah.
So, you know, the bloke's got quality, and he's proved it, not just for Man United, for England. You know, all I'd say is, you know, form is temporary, class is permanent, and the boy's got class. And all day long, I would have him playing in that shirt. Whether the price is right, that's for other people to sort out. But would I have him? Yeah, I would.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. And do you think? What's your opinion on Benrahma? Do you think it's time for him to move him on in the summer?
Well, look, you give a player like that 1 season, didn't you? And then you allow him, but you can't allow him 2 seasons. And I think Moyes don't suffer fools gladly either. Yeah. And I think the back snap when he got subbed off, you know, with all that and the complaining, that we all know that's got to have carried on behind the scenes as well. That shows a frustration in the manager and in the player itself, that it'll probably be wise for the 2 to part ways. You know, if Brentford stay up, maybe he can go back there. He's a good player. He's not top class Premier League material, is he? You know, Panlan Mahrez, I think, was something that.
He always, even in the Championship when he played for Brentford, when they had a big game, and by big game I mean the playoff finals.
Yeah, I remember watching that just purely to watch him.
Yeah, he just didn't turn up. He was absent, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Fulham were definitely the kings of that game.
Oh yeah, down to a T. How about you, Stel? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd have Rashford. I wouldn't pay 50-odd million for Broja, how do you pronounce him? Because he's done great. Don't get me wrong, but 58 million. That's just the team trying to cash in on him. And to be quite honest with you, with Chelsea's predicament, I don't think we don't know how long the sanctions are going to be, where maybe they can't buy players, etc.
Gary, you're going for the same comments. I put them ones up.
Oh, sorry, Nick.
So Chelsea will probably want to keep him.
Yeah.
But Rashford, absolutely. The money, it'll be the wages. It'll be the wages that will stop us from having him.
Yeah.
Because I agree with Nigel. I think he's a fantastic player.
Sorry to interrupt. Just on that, at some point though, and this is the thing where without dragging it all the way back to 2013 and that famous comment by the Baroness, is at some point, if you want to be there, you've got to pay that money.
Absolutely, agreed. But I don't think we're there yet.
But Man City to get there paid the money. They overpaid the money to get there. Yeah. When you get there, you can actually pay the wages a bit less.
Oh, I agree, mate. I agree. But I think what in order to get there, you're absolutely right. But in order to get there, we'll have to treble our wage bill, and I don't think that will happen.
So we'll never get there then. So now you're coming around to my way of thinking.
Well, no, we probably will never get there. I don't think I ever said we would, but
should you look to get there?
Bonnie Hammer has made a good point here about Rashford. He's goal scoring record playing for one of the best clubs in the world. It ain't great. I haven't got the stats to hand, but
it's what he can do at West Ham. I think.
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, I listen. When we signed Lingard, I was after Dawson because I criticised Dawson. So when he brought Lingard in, I wasn't impressed, but I weren't about to criticise Lingard because Moyes had just made me look a dick about Dawson. Mm-hmm. So I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, and look how that turned out when Lingard came in. So,
I guess maybe people are thinking that Rashford would have the same impact as Lingard would.
Well, look at Lingard's goal scoring record for Man United, and look at it for West Ham.
Oh, absolutely. I think he'd be I think it'll be another player that would have his career revitalised at a club like West Ham. But you know, Nigel, unfortunately, it is what it is. We will not. Hello, mate. It will not pay 350 grand a week, which is a shame because he is a class player. Broha, 58 million pound. No way, that's a fucking joke. And I actually don't think Chelsea will sell him. And Ivan Toney, you know, great. He scored another goal. He scored 2 goals today, didn't he? So he's up to what, 10, 11 for the season.
Yeah.
But you're right. He scored 3 of those against Norwich. And I think he's all right. I think he would have been a great backup for Antonio.
2 penalties as well, wasn't it?
2 penalties today, yeah. And then when it comes to Ben Rama, wasn't that rumour created by another social media site, another channel? Because I think we all know. Well, it was, wasn't it? So we all know that Ben Rama is probably on in his last season at West Ham. I think we all feel that. So you know what that social media channel said is what we're all thinking. That Moyes has Moyes from the day dot has never fancied Ben Rama. We know that was the last Sullivan purchase.
Yeah.
You know, until Moyes has put his foot down. And look at the way he treated him last season. You know, in and out of the team, not barely playing, but mainly a sub, etc. Basically, without getting Lingard in, he wanted Ben Rama to do a Lingard. The only thing I maintain with Ben Rama is if you gave Ben Rama the same freedom on the pitch as Moyes afforded Lingard, you might see a slightly different player. Someone who would play further up the field, like Lingard did, without worrying about the defensive duties. And that's the one thing that I would say in Ben Rama's defence.
But you are right. You are right. But would Ben Rama ever be as good as what Lingard was for us?
No, I'm not saying he would. I'm not saying he would. But maybe he'd play.
So why would you afford him a free role
Because that's what Lingard was told. If you looked at the way we played last season with Lingard, Lingard was told just stay up there. You know, don't worry about it.
He creates and scored goals.
I know that. But you don't know if Ben Rama was afforded the same freedom. You don't know what he may have. You don't know what he may have offered this season if he didn't have to track back because Moyes wants him. Get back there, do the tackling, do the dirty work. You know, let the flair stuff happen after that. If Ben Rama was afforded a bit more freedom, we don't know what he may have delivered. I just
think he's an Algerian Michael Flatley. Honestly, he's just honestly, that's.
I'm so glad you don't manage the team. You'd have sold half of them halfway through the season. Fuck off! Your shit.
Give him a free roll. He'd be fucking doing pirouettes. Rather than doing 2 spins, he'd be doing 12, wouldn't he? But,
no, that's the only thing. I do agree. You know, it's been when you look at Fornals and the way he's turned into a Moyes type player, which he has. Very, very different. Fornals is doing the dirty work that Moyes wants him to do, and he hasn't suffered as much as Ben Rama has. Moyes wants Ben Rama to do the dirty work and then turn it on in the final third of the pitch.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the screen. She's just walked in half hammered. There you go. That's what I've got to put up with.
Only half hammered. Bad effort. Needs to try harder.
There you go.
She's going to tell you off for not doing the washing up now. So.
I did do it. Well, you see, you play your cards right. I did.
She must be hammered still.
Fucking hell. She's
How dare you? I'm on the channel. Calm down. I might have to go soon, chaps.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Go on.
Can she hear us?
No, that she can't.
No, we won't talk about the airport.
It's like a different kind of video, isn't it?
You're on. You know you're on live, don't you?
I don't care.
All right, give me 5.
Know that someone loves you, mate.
Well, bet.
Maybe. Put the cats out.
Look behind you and you'll see.
She don't care.
Okay, carry on. Don't mind us.
Right. I'll see you in a minute, chaps.
Go on. I know you're
Yeah.
Go on.
Go and knock her out.
Let's fucking hell.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what, though, going back to Marcus Rashford, my only concern is with him is basically we know he's a talented player, we know he's good, but do you not think that and we all admire him for what he's done, you know, all the work that he's done, you know, sort of raising awareness for sort of the underprivileged and stuff like that. But do you not think that since he started doing that stuff, don't you think that it's been is his focus on football now? Is what I'm saying. Is his focus entirely on football?
He had a massive injury, a really massive injury.
He's had a few. He's had a few injuries.
Kept him out for ages. I don't think you can make that draw parallels in that regard at all. I think he keeps it completely separately. He is a very, very good player. You know, he's a level up on what we've got.
Yeah,
2 levels up on what we've got, and I'd love to see him at West Ham.
If Stell's back in any less than sort of 5 minutes, we you know that's just not good enough. Anyway.
Yeah. But I love some of these comments, by the way.
Johnny Osborne's just now.
Some of these comments. Stell the porn star.
Yeah.
She has her beer goggles on. Where is it? She realised she's in the wrong house in a minute. Looks like Stell's getting some oats tonight. I think he's getting some right as we speak right now.
Yeah.
I don't know about stamp the cards. You bleeding got
YouTube are going to shut you down. Keep his sound on. I tuned in for West Ham and got Pornhub.
Yeah.
We've got to clip this.
Oh yeah.
It'll be sideways Stell in the next couple of minutes.
It will be.
That was a very good time.
Oh dear, that's brilliant. Fair play to her.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It was good.
That was good.
Right. So let's move on to news story number 3. Right. My last pre-record. Here we go.
So earlier this week, there have been a few reports talking about again the summer transfer window and how much money West Ham are going to have to spend. It's been reported anywhere from 80 million to 120 million pounds, depending who you listen to and whether you bring Kretinsky into the equation or whatever else. But the fact is, it's not only, we know there are going to be some outgoings. We expect to see some outgoings in the summer as well. So if you take the money we've got and you add to it the potential outgoings, then you get the pot of money that you expect West Ham to be able to spend in the summer, at least hopefully. Now, whether Moyes is the right person to take a large sum of money and spend it wisely and quickly, I do not know. But what I want to do is take you through an exercise in trying to look at the players who we might want to move on. Now, again, this is totally open to your own judgment, but I've tried to put a price, firstly, against every player who will be left, every senior player who will be left, assuming, for instance, Ogbonna is fit. I've priced him at 10 million because genuinely, I think that's how much he's worth. You might quibble about some of the other prices. You might think that Declan Rice, for instance, is worth a little bit more. But anyway, look, I've tried to put a fair market value, and it says our squad is probably going to be worth 431 million. And of that, I've assumed that probably Declan Rice will move on for around about 130 million. Now Chelsea are out the picture. Benrahma, I don't rate him. He's not 28 million anymore. That's what we paid for him. So I rate him probably around 15. I would favour him going to a promoted club, someone who wants a big name to come into them. I think where he could be the main man. I think we could sell him to a promoted club. Same with Arthur Masuaku, either that or flog him abroad again, no more than 3 million quid. And Vladimir Coufal, interesting one. So Coufal, I do really like the bloke, but I have been a little bit bothered that he seems to have this attitude of he expects to play when he is fit. I don't think that's an attitude that any player should have. And I also worry whether we're actually seeing what we bought now, which was essentially a £5 million right back. Again, I could be being quite harsh, but I'm not there, so you can't have a go at me. I'm going to rate him at 12 million if we were to sell him, because he is, after all, a proven Premier League player now, which he wasn't when we bought him. So there you go. I think we're going to bring in 160 million. We're going to add that to the 80 million minimum that we've got in the pot. So David Moyes, Super David Moyes, is going to have a grand total of 240 million to spend in the summer. It's quite funny, really, isn't it? I hope he gets some business done early. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think those valuations are right? Do you think I've missed some players who we might sell? Or do you staunchly object that we might move Vladimir Sufal on? All right, over to you.
Right, so let me, just to support this, let me just bring up the spreadsheet. Let me share. My God. What's that noise in the background?
That's Nigel, I think.
Bit of style, isn't it?
You'll get us copyrighted.
Well, I was thinking,
man.
as that happened, I was thinking, je t'aime, je t'aime.
Yeah.
Right, share screen. No, I don't want to share screen. I just want to share. Yeah. Hold on a minute. Bear with me. Got to share the whole damn screen, haven't I?
Stel's in a threesome with Masuaku.
Yeah, he'd be pushed out wide then, wouldn't he?
He'd be pushed out wide. Right. So I'm just going to share this. I don't know if I can make it a bit bigger. Yeah, let me make it a bit bigger like this. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we all have a spreadsheet. So the way this works out, let me just make that a bit bigger. The way it works out is 80 million reputed to be the pot in the summer. I've estimated we're going to bring 160 million in from those 4 players, giving us a total spend of 240 million in the summer. So first of all, what do you think on the values? Do you think they're fair, or have I undercooked some of them, overcooked some of them?
Well, yeah. I mean, the first one is Declan Rice. I mean, I can't. I'm sorry. I don't think we're going to be selling him this summer. I don't think they can. With the amount of players, I think they would if they could. But with the amount of players that we've got going out this window anyway, they can't even consider letting Declan Rice go at the moment. And we've already got, like we said, it looks like we had 80 to 100 million anyway. And then we're going to have next year's TV money. So we don't have to sell to have a substantial pot.
I know we don't have to.
We're gonna have next year's budget as well. So we haven't spent. We've underspent for a while. So we don't have to spend. We don't have to sell to spend. I think your valuations are about right. I don't think they're wrong. Ben Rama, I think you're bang on. 15 million. I don't think he's worth any more than that. Masuaku, I don't think we could give him away. And Sufal, I don't think you're going to be able to pry him away from Souček while Souček's here. And there's more chance of Souček being sold, I think.
Yeah. Go on, Nigel.
Oh, look, Declan Rice. Look, this is why I see it. Grealish went for 100 million. Yeah. Look at the big transfers that go on when you look at that type of money. They're for attacking players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Declan Rice is not seen as an attacking midfielder. He's not an attacking flair player.
Yeah, but if we can't get it, but he's worth that sort of money. So if we can't get that for him, then we don't sell him, basically.
Oh, but so what do you do if he then says, no, I will go?
You don't know. I'm sorry. You can't let him go for less than what he's, because it's what would it cost us to, if we sold Declan Rice, what would it cost us to replace him?
So what, if we got 130 million, we couldn't replace him, Nick. And
that's
this is
what I mean.
The problem.
He
will leave for between 80 and 100 million.
Yeah,
that's what he will leave for, 80 to 100 million.
But I don't think they'll sell him this summer because I don't think they can. Like I said, if you look how small the squad is, for God's sake, already.
Well, and this is the thing. We got. There's like the perfect storm coming for West Ham relegation. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
In that we've took this team. It's overachieved. It's ripe for cherry picking the best players, like Bowen, like Rice. But then we got the ones that are falling off. That are coming to an end of contract. We've got to re-sign. We've got to replace the ones we're selling. We already think our squad's weak. So actually, what we could do with is not selling anyone, even Ben Rama, Souček, but actually buying better players to come in as well. So if you think about it, Souček would be a great player to have on the bench if you had someone better to play alongside Rice. And this is the problem West Ham's going to have. For once in our life, it ain't the money that's going to be the problem. It's the quality of player that we can bring in. When we're a struggling team, it's easy to bring in a player. when we've got these visions of grandeur, this is where it's going to come hard. Plus, will we then be able to do it? And to throw all that in the hat, you've also got the upcoming looming of Newcastle going that one step further. So for every really good player we're going to be after, Newcastle will be after them and more, and be able to pay them more and everything else.
Yeah.
It's I wouldn't want to be running West Ham in the summer. I really wouldn't, you know, because I don't know where the club goes next season.
Well, I mean, the worry is, look, my main worry is, as we've just seen in the past few windows, look, David Moyes is a superb manager, but he's just got a massive rebuild job coming up. And I personally, I think someone else has said it in the chat. I think you could give him 300 million. I think he'd struggle to spend it. He'd struggle to get players in. I really do. I am worried about that now.
Think of his big money buys at Everton.
Yeah.
Think of them. Tell me what they were.
No, he didn't. He didn't do it. So I see. Listen, he can't pull the same tactic. If he's got to make multiple signings and he's got money to spend, he can't play the same game of trying to leave it right until the last week of the transfer window. He's got to get some business done early. He can leave some until the last week of the transfer window, but he's got to get his bread and butter signings, the signings that he absolutely needs. They've got to be done early in the window this time. No excuses.
Yeah, they have. And look, we've got the added advantage as well. As we know, there's players that are going to be available on a free. There's quite a few players that we were linked with, because do you remember on deadline day, like one of the players that we looked at was that Carvalho from Fulham, and we all thought he'd gone to Liverpool. Well, he ain't gone to Liverpool. He's not gone to Liverpool. So, and his contract hasn't been extended, so he's going to be available on a free. You've got Kamara is going to be available on a free from Marseille. There's going to be quite a few players. Tarkowski, however you bloody say it. There's loads of players out there that we can go for, and that's why I think that we'll be able to get 4 to 5 players in on loan and free transfer, which will free up. It's like everyone keeps on saying, Brozier, you can't spend 50 to 60 million on Brozier. Well, I'm sorry,
you can.
If David Moyes, you've got to trust David Moyes. So if David Moyes thinks that Brozier's worth it and that we can afford it, then you back Moyes. And you don't get hung up on money. I mean, you say 50 million for one player is a lot of money. Well, I'm sorry, but almost 60 million for Benrahma and Vlasic is a lot of money. I'd rather have one good player, one top player, and a player like Brozier. He's proven that he is now a proven Premier League player, and people say, but he ain't done it long enough. Well, I tell you what. Brozier, we've got one chance of signing Armando Brozier. If he does it for 2 or 3 seasons, he ain't coming to West Ham. He's not coming to West Ham. So you've got one chance to sign a player like that. And I like him. He's a bastard. He's exactly the type of player that we need.
You know what, though? The way he's playing, and the way Lukaku's playing.
He's better than Lukaku.
Chelsea might be thinking we ain't selling him.
Yeah.
I know.
I like what I saw. It's the first time I've taken any notice of him when he played for Southampton in the FA Cup the other week, and I really like what I saw.
Yeah,
good physical, strong number 9, and I think it's a calculated gamble, right? Because he has proven that he's done it in the Premier League already. You pay a premium for players like that, especially because he's only 20 years old.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
we're gonna leave it about another minute or two, and then we'll go live with the right. There are a few different questions in this, just so you know. So don't be scared, because I had to desperately scramble to put this quiz together. I've used some pre-existing questions off of Kahoot. Some of them are my own, some of them are not. But there's also 5 only fools and horses questions in there. I had to pad it out, Nigel. I had to pad it out. Sorry, mate. I was dead. It's a West Ham / only fools and horses quiz.
So I'm just laughing at something else. I'm sure you've seen it as well.
Let's have a look.
I bet he had.
Sorry, chaps, have to go. Yeah. That's fair enough. Right. Good night, Stel. Stel won't be back. Okay. Right, John's gone. We'll wait until we've got 10. Once we've got 10, we'll go live. We'll wait for Garrett to come back as well. I think we can have up to 12 on this. There's people coming for you. Look, hang on. 8. Right, don't let the app close, people, because I think when you let the app close, it drops off. You got Irish Tommy. Stel was in the saddle. There we go, 12. Right, that's it. I'm gonna start the quiz. Hang on. Sorry, Gary. You snooze, you lose. Right. During West Ham's run to the 2006 final against Liverpool, who did they beat in the third round? Villa, Norwich, Bolton, or Ipswich? Yeah, you can guess. You can guess. Pretty good. Is that you at the top, Nigel? Are you champ?
Whoever the champ is.
Right, in the FA Cup third round, what was the score between West Ham and Man City?
FA Cup third round win. What year?
Oh, fuck knows. I'll nick this one from just pick one. Sorry. Like I said to you, some of these questions.
I think it's the first year of the London Stadium.
Yeah.
So I think it was 2016.
There we go. Yeah, it was a rubbish question, that was.
Well, I don't know.
There we go. You're up the top, though. There we go. Look. Right, Only Fools and Horses is hopefully going to... right, what is a pub in the Only Fools and Horses called? The Queen Vic, the Rovers Return, the Woolpack, or the Nag's Head? People are a bit slow on that. I'm surprised.
Obviously, don't watch it as much as me.
No. Right, there we go.
Who got two wrong? Dear, oh dear.
Brennan, look, my Father Jack's coming for you. Right. What was the name of the tower block where Del Boy and Rodney Trotter lived in Only Fools and Horses? Mother Teresa House, Nelson Mandela House, Margaret Thatcher Towers, or Trigger Towers?
These are easy. Only Fools and Horses questions so far, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there's only two more after this. The rest of them are West
No,
Ham.
keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah. Bloody hell! Someone got it wrong. Camden Irons. Right, what finally made the Trotters millionaires in Only Fools and Horses? A pocket watch, winning the lottery, Uncle Albert's legacy, or a diamond? It's bloody easy, isn't it?
It's all right. I like easy ones. Jatem.
It was the lesser watch.
It was. He's still, even with Only Fools and Horses in there, you're pissing it. What's going on?
Well, I do watch it on loop, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right, who sang the Only Fools and Horses theme song? Oasis, John Saxon, Blur, or John Sullivan? That's the last one, I think.
I don't know.
Only Fools and Horses.
I got it wrong.
Yeah. You got it wrong?
Yeah, I got it wrong. Fuck it. I pressed
Look at Brennan, look. Right, who was West Ham's first Premier League opposition at London Stadium?
Oh, yeah.
West Brom, Villa, Bournemouth, or Southampton?
It was them, wasn't it?
I know that one.
John's giving answers in the chat.
John, stop cheating. There we go. Right, next. Oh, this is you're running away with this one, Nigel. You sure you don't need a toilet break or anything?
Yeah.
Right, in which season were West Ham involved in their first FA Cup penalty shootout where they beat Blackburn 5-4? 97, 98, 98, 99, 95, 96, or 96, 97?
Roy Hodgson was manager of Blackburn, if that helps. And Craig Forrest was in goal for West Ham.
I remember it, but I couldn't tell you what year it was.
I got it wrong.
4 people got it right.
There we go. Oh, Radichoyu. He's coming through. Right. Where was West Ham's 1980 FA Cup semi-final replay victory over Everton held? Hillsborough, Elland Road, Villa Park, or Main Road?
God, that countdown took a long time to start, didn't it?
Right, that's that one. Where are we? Oh, he's pissing it. Look, he's running away with it. Right, true or false? Was this player the first Portuguese player to represent West Ham? I know who that is.
Is that Danny?
Sue Redknapp. Gave that interview over, wasn't it? It's going to be a split, I reckon, on this one. Ugly bastard, wasn't he? Right. There we go. Yeah, look, see, got a split on that one. Brennan's back. Right, other than West Ham, which club did John Lyall manage? Luton, Norwich, Southampton, or Ipswich?
Sorry, Southend, you mean?
Southend or Ipswich? Got Southampton on the brain. Come and answer the question. Right. Next. Right. In which season did Martin Allen make his West Ham debut? I know this one.
It
Which one?
was either that one or the one before.
Bloody hell, look at that.
Yeah.
Did you get it right, Gal?
Yep.
Oh, Brennan's down to third. Radichoyu's coming surging through. Right, last two questions. In which season did West Ham play their first match in the Football League? 95-96, 1895-96, 1900 to 1901, 1919 to 1920, 1925, 1926.
I think I've got this right. Yeah.
Yeah. Last one.
Oh, going third again. Yeah.
He's coming through. Right, in which season did West Ham first get relegated from the Premier League? Last one. 2002, 2003, 2003, 2004, 2001, 2002, or 2000 and 2001?
I can't remember. I've had to have a guess at this one. This is where Nigel's got the advantage because he knows these years off to a T.
Right. I don't think there's going to be a surprise here.
That's all right. I got it right anyway, so that's all right.
Gary,
Third. I've got third again. Yes.
You didn't answer the first few questions either.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Right, there we go. Oh, he's still got his trophy. We've got to sort this out. Needs
know what?
sabotage.
We just say, well done, Florin. I only beat him on speed.
Yeah.
14
out of 14.
Yeah. Well done, mate. Well done. Who do you reckon Florin is? Do you reckon it actually is Florin?
Two bob, isn't it?
It is Florin Madichoyu.
It probably is the real one.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Right, now to break that up, as we said earlier on, if you've just joined, if you weren't all aware, our good mate John is back in hospital, recovering from an operation, which is why he's not hosting with us this week. So, again, wishing you all the best, mate. But look, none of us have got the comedic quality to deliver Mock the Week quite like John, so we're not going to try. But what I have done, especially as this week we were all celebrating International Women's Day, is an adaptation of Cock of the Week. And this week I'm calling it Cork of the Week. Okay, so take a look at this video, and hopefully it will make a little bit of sense.
So she's doing a really helpful video and a dead set serious video and explaining the ins and outs of a corking gun, except her accent completely undoes it for her.
Before I use my cock, I thought I would show it to you, but I'll just let it dangle here while we chat. Now, cock comes in many different colors and sizes, and you can fill gaps and cracks and holes with your cock. But if your gap or your crack or your hole is small, don't force a bunch of thick cock in there because it won't work. And if there's already cock in that crack or hole, don't put your cock on top of the other cock because two cocks won't bond. The removal success will depend on whether it's hard cock or soft cock. But once it's all clean and you're ready to use your cock, just squeeze it until you see some of the stuff coming out of the tip. Drag it across the crack and then smooth your cock with your finger.
That's so unfortunate.
Oh, that killed me when I saw that. Sorry, everyone. That was my attempt at Cork of the week. Right, let's go on to. Should we go and see Aston Villa review?
Yeah, let's depress ourselves.
Might as well. Okay. Right. As we know, West Ham face off against in-form Aston Villa at London Stadium this Sunday at 2:00. Steven Gerrard, he's got a really solid record since taking over a struggling side from Dean Smith. Villa had already invested heavily following the sale of Grealish to City in the summer, bringing in the likes of Buendia, Danny Ings and Leon Bailey. But the void left by Grealish was clearly too much for Dean Smith to mitigate. And ultimately, that opened the door for Gerrard to step in. Gerrard, he didn't mess around at all in January. He added the likes of Luca Dean, however you want to say it, from Everton to replace Matt Targett. A loan deal for Robin Olsen from Roma. Callum Chambers came in sort of pretty late from Arsenal on a free transfer. Really good signing that is. And then the massive marquee signing, Coutinho, who, to be fair, he looks to be the Lingard of this season, a player that has more than replaced Jack Grealish. Excellent business from Gerrard. It's taken a little while for the new players to bed in and for Gerrard to find the right combination, but they are kicking on now and they've got great balance in their team. In fact, at the moment, I would say they've probably got one of the best and most informed teams in the league with plenty of depth across the board. They play great football, score lots of goals, and they'll be making a huge push in the last 11 games of their season. Right. Sorry, I've lost my thing there. So they typically line up with Coutinho dropping deep to form a midfield sort of four out of possession. They're pretty strong throughout, and you'll struggle to find a weak link. But when they're in attack, they kind of change. They change shape, and Coutinho tends to form. They tend to form a front three. So they're either playing a diamond with a midfield four and a top two. But when they're in attack, they pour forward. And like I say, when you look at that team, they've got good balance. There's not really many weak links that you can see there. As you can see from their last three games, in particular, they're in excellent form. They beat Brighton away 2-0, followed by smashing Southampton 4-0 at home, and then most recently they battered Leeds 3-0 away from home. And with an aggregate score across all three games of 9-0 in favour of Villa. So they're defensively resolute as well as free scoring, and they're beating teams in and around them. So we do need to be careful. In the table, there's not really much in between the teams. If Villa do win, they're only 6 points behind us with a game in hand, which is crazy when you consider how far ahead we were in the league. So let's go to let's go to Gerrard. Nigel, this goes to you. How impressed have you been with Gerrard? And do you think it's a flash in the pan, or do you think he'll have Villa challenging that top six next year?
Sadly, I don't think it's a flash in the pan.
No.
I suppose it shows you what a decent transfer window can do.
Yeah.
David Moyes, perhaps take note.
Yeah.
I'd like the way that they set up. Guess what? They play with two strikers.
I know.
Two out-and-out strikers. And I know Ollie Watkins blows hot and cold, but you got Danny Ings there as well. I suppose the signings he brought in has really galvanised the team. But he'd already turned them. It started to turn them around before January anyway.
I know they were looking a bit more solid, weren't they?
So, you know, I always thought it was weird that Norwich turned to Dean Smith, who was sacked because he was threatening to take Villa down. And so I just don't. I mean, Gerrard, I didn't realise how good he was actually until you put that picture up.
I know.
Or how good his record was in this country. Only 2 defeats, one of them against Watford. Can you believe?
And the other one against Newcastle.
Newcastle. I think they're another team that's changed since January.
Yeah,
you know
they're on a brilliant run.
Newcastle. It will literally be a tale or two of 2 years. So it'll be the Newcastle pre-January and the Newcastle after January.
Yeah,
because I bet you by come the end of the season, the last 19 games, they probably would have had Champions League for.
Yeah, no, I know.
But I mean, back to Gerrard. It's. I mean, look, as a manager, he's showing because it's easy to go up up to. He's gone up the Rangers. I don't know about easy. He's gone up the Rangers. There was a lot of pressure on them because they'd got themselves back into the top flight, but hadn't really done anything. And he's the one that's broke Celtic. He's run a 10 in a row, and he managed to stop that. He won the title. He turned it back into a 2-horse race up there, which it hadn't been for a long time. But if you really want to see how good he was, look where Rangers were when he left them, and look where they are now.
Yeah.
Because Rangers were clear at the top by about 4 or 5 points. Well, now they're 3 points behind.
Yeah, so, I must admit, when he first came to England, I thought this is going to be the proper test.
Yes,
because he's had, to my mind, any half decent manager with the money that they get, which is so much more money than all of the other clubs in the Scottish League. Celtic and Rangers are already at a significant advantage. I mean, when Gerrard took over and they were in the second flight, he had more money than everyone in the second flight. Then he gets to the top flight and he has pretty much more money than anybody in the top flight. He makes some good signings. He does really well. He wins a title for the first time in quite a few years. So he finishes the recovery of Rangers. But I still didn't completely buy it until he came down here, because I think you get found out in the Premier League really quickly. And so he hasn't been found out yet, and I don't think he's going to be found out. I think he's a very solid manager. I've changed my opinion of him completely. I think he's one for the future, and I think he could end up, if he carries on this improvement curve, he could be a very young Liverpool manager.
No, I agree. I think. I don't even think he's looking at. I don't even think he's really sort of looking at moving from Villa at the minute. I think he's got a really good squad of players there. You'd like to think that he's got that connection with Liverpool, but I think he's going to do something a little bit special with Villa. If he can
for the Liverpool job, he's got to wait for Klopp to decide. When he's going to move on. I mean, the next job for Klopp, realistically, I could only see either being PSG or Bayern Munich. I've got a sneaky feeling PSG will have an opening this year anyway. Strangely enough, because I think Pochettino, one, after the Champions League debacle on Wednesday night, and then 2, I think Man United will actually see that as a reason to go get him. But, and also I think Gary's right in that Gerrard could be at Villa 3-5 years. I can see that. There's a bit of me to think, I think it's great to have an English manager, young up-and-coming English manager coming through. Not knocking Moyes, but when was the last time West Ham ever hired a decent young English manager, progressive manager to take the club? And I look back and that'll be Alan Pardew.
That's the only one. It's the only one I can think of. Yeah.
So, and while Pardew was only at the club a short period, his best work for West Ham was actually the players he brought in that we sold for absolute huge profit.
Yeah.
The likes of Ria Coker, the likes of Airwood, the likes of Bobby Zamora, all moved on for far bigger money than we brought them in for. So that's no slight on Moyes though, because I'm as you know, I'm enjoying the time West Ham under Moyes. But
Moyes has done a good job. But
Yeah.
I think John made the point in the summer. Do you know, like some of these names that we were linked with,
Yeah.
which we were clearly linked with.
Yeah.
Do you think you've got more chance of signing these players if you got a name like Steven Gerrard running your club?
Well, look, the only reason Coutinho's at Aston Villa is because Steven Gerrard's there. And I know that's also to do with the fact that they played together. But let's face it, Steven Gerrard's name in world football was bloody big. World football. So near enough every footballer growing up, everyone that was a teenager or a young kid back then would have watched England, and Gerrard was the star.
Yeah.
To be able to, and Liverpool, a big club around the world. So all these kids as well grew up watching Liverpool and Gerrard, where he was the star.
Yeah.
And you think, well, they will want to play for someone like that.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't know this, what John said there. I think Klopp's contract expires the same time as Gerrard's at Villa.
Yeah.
I didn't know
That'd
that.
be about the right timing. You imagine what's Gerrard on? He's probably on a 3 or 4 year deal. And probably, for him to be, if he proved himself for 3 or 4 years.
He's been aggressive, hasn't he? He's been aggressive with what he's doing at Villa.
Yeah, if you see what I'm saying, if he proved himself for 3 or 4 years at Villa, you can see the next logical step will be Liverpool. I dislike the idea. In fact, I really like the idea. If he continues to be that kind of really successful manager, I'd love to see him in the England seat.
Yeah.
Because he's got the England pedigree as well. I'd love to see that. But let's see how he goes over the next couple of years.
Well, let's move on to the next one. And Gary, this is for you. How impressed have you been with Coutinho since he's arrived? I mean, it certainly does feel, like I said earlier on, he's got the same sort of impacts that Lingard had for us when he arrived. Would you be surprised if Villa would have finished higher than us this season? And if they were to finish higher, what would your reaction be when you consider where the positions were before the January window opened?
Well, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they finished above us. So, having said that, I think there's a lot of fight left in the old dog yet, regards West Ham. So I don't think we're just going to lay down and let them come past us. I think tomorrow we've got to. That's the sort of game that we have to rise to, just like we did with Wolves the other week. They're right. They're not far from us now. They're coming up. They're coming up. And look, Coutinho, it was a no-brainer to sign him. If you're going to get a fully motivated Coutinho, then he knows, what he can do in the Premier League. He knows what he can do in the Premier League. And he's being played in and used in exactly the right position as well. The stats say it all, don't they? 8 appearances, 4 goals, 3 assists. I mean, it's pretty incredible, really, isn't it? It's a great return, but not really surprising.
No,
I know what you're edging towards and saying if they finished above us, what would your reaction be? And and you're basically alluding to the fact that they had a great transfer window and we didn't, so therefore you're going to blame West Ham for. No, not really. I think that sort of stuff happens to my mind.
I would be. I think that what he's done is it's perfectly illustrated exactly why we needed desperately to bring players in, and like I say, the fact that he did.
Yeah, but we know,
they didn't even need these players, Gary. They've got.
We know that already, Nick. We know that already. It's pointless harping back to it. If they do finish above us and they say, "Oh, it was due to the transfer window," well, yeah, it was due to the transfer window, but what you can do,
you can't sweep it under the carpet because it needs to be clear so that Moyes can't do it again. He can't. Do it again.
We all know that, and I said this a couple of weeks ago. I said if he doesn't go about and do his business properly in the summer, I'll allow him one failure, and that was a failure. Let's not dress it up.
Yeah,
right. But we cannot afford another failure in the summer, especially because we actually have to be. We're going to have big holes in our squad if we don't sign players. And I want to see some early movement in the transfer window this summer as well. If we end up in the same sort of situation where we're all biting our nails, waiting for the last week of the window or the last couple of days, irrespective of whether he gets a couple of deals over the line on the last day or so, that to me would not be a satisfactory performance because that is a gamble. You could end up, by leaving it so late, you could end up, what's happened this time could happen again. We could end up with fuck all.
I know. It's just what's been bizarre is kind of almost like the opportunism from Gerrard because they had Matt Targett. He's perfectly fine, as a fullback. They went out and they got Luca Dean because he was available. They've got, you know, they bought Buendia in the summer, and they bought Leon Bailey, and they bought who else did they get? They bought Danny Ings, and the thing is, but then Coutinho was available when they went out and they got him, and like I say, that they've got depth in their squad as well. Like you've got Nakamba, you've got Bertrand Traore, you've got Morgan Sanson in central midfield, who I don't think he really gets a game now. He's a top player. It is a bit frustrating, but I think going back to what you said, Nigel, with Danny Ings and Watkins, you know, what do you think of these two at the moment? It's good to see a top two, really, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you know, as you said, they can, whether it's a diamond, people don't play 4-4-2 now. I mean, I love 4-4-2, perhaps because I was brought up on it, and a lot of people play 4-4-2 back then. How did we get from near enough every club having two strikers to now people playing without any? Because at the end of the day, we haven't got a striker. You know, Antonio was never a striker until David Moyes put him up front regular. And I think that's why I'm loath to criticise him, because I think he does fantastic in that position for someone that came into it so late in his career.
Yeah, he does.
But so how did we get, though, from having two out and out strikers? 3 years ago, we had 4 strikers.
I know.
Yeah, we had Hernandez, we had Andy Carroll, we had the other Spanish geezer whose name escapes me.
Yeah.
And so how did we get from having what
does my brain is? John just alluded to it in the chat there. If Pep Guardiola did it, everyone else would. And people keep saying that. Oh, yeah. You do the false nine thing. You don't need strikers anymore. They're outdated. No. If you've got a team like Liverpool and like Man City, where all of the players in the team are world class and they can score from anywhere, you know, anywhere in the team, then maybe you don't need a striker. I don't know. But when you're supporting players are not world class, you do need that focal point. You need that man up front. And like you said, why, if you got the man up front, like Antonio, look how good he does on his own. Imagine how much better he would be if he had a partner as well.
Talk about Pep. Look at Klopp. Klopp's got Mane and Firmino, who were strikers. Salah is a bit different because he was more of a wide forward player.
He's an inside forward, isn't he?
Yeah. You know, so he wasn't an actual number 9 striker that we would look at, you know, the David Crosses of the world, the Andy Carrolls to a point was an out-and-out bastard of a number 9 striker.
Yeah.
You know, and we have regressed in that way, and it obviously needs to be put right.
Yeah, it does. It does need to be put right. But then again, I suppose, I mean, look, I won't lie and say that I've looked too much in depth at the Everton teams under David Moyes, but there's a lot of people that do say he always had a striker. He always had a focal point in his team, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He always had a focal point, and I know we've got that now with Antonio.
Well,
but
I mean, quickly, I briefly touched it. He had the likes of, he brought in like Kevin Campbell, who did a good job for him. You know, obviously, he brought through Wayne Rooney, you know, who played as a striker for about a year and a half. They had Duncan Ferguson there. I don't know if it was him that re-signed him, because obviously the Everton had him, sold him to Newcastle, and then he came back. And I've got a feeling that it was Moyes that re-signed him. So he had that focal point, but then he did his special bits where he took people like Tim Cahill, midfielders, made him a goal scorer. Fellaini made him a goal scorer. You know, so we can look back at what he done at Everton, and you can see it's quite similar to what he's doing. But it was tried and tested. It worked. Funny enough, it's nearly 10 years to the day that David Moyes celebrated 10 years at Everton. And Steve Gerrard scored a hat-trick for Liverpool as they beat Everton to spoil his 10th anniversary.
Right. Is it really?
It is, yeah. So that was covered in his press conference yesterday, which for some reason was embargoed until 10:30 tonight. So I've just released it on the website tonight. So he was asked, it's 10 years ago to the day you were celebrating your 10th anniversary at Everton, and Gerrard grabbed a hat-trick. What do you remember of the game? he then says he admired the quality of Gerrard. He always used to say when we were at Everton competing against Liverpool, it was a difficult situation because they were successful and we weren't.
Yeah.
You know, and then he praises Gerrard more, points out they had Carragher, and they were the ones that gave the club a heartbeat.
Yeah. That's right.
Then he is questioned quickly on this about Antonio's only got one league goal in 2022 and only 3 since October. As you know, why has it been difficult?
What did he say?
Well, he said this is what he said exactly. Scoring goals is important for the team and important for him, but we've been pretty good with other people stepping up. Mickey's more than just a goal scorer for us. He's someone who runs the line, takes the weight off other players, and he creates lots of opportunities. It's been a tough period for him because he started the season well and he played so well at the end of last season. So I think we just need to keep supporting him. I'm hoping his goals flow in the last 10 games of the season will improve, but I think his performances have improved recently.
Yeah,
that was my big concern.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so he finishes off saying, I'm hoping that Mickey keeps up his performance levels. We're not daft, though. The last 2 or 3 games, we've lacked our quality in the goal scoring areas. So he does recognise, he says, and they have made a difference.
Yeah.
There's a little bit on Ben Rama. Do you want to hear what he said about
go on, please.
So he was then questioned about opportunities for Ben Rama to show what he can do. And he said, Saeed has shown exactly what he can do. He showed it at the start of the season and showed great improvement coming back. His first season was difficult. And at the start of this year, he was really good form. I think the same things still apply. Make the right decisions. Choose the right pass at the right moment. Make the decision whether to take people on or to retain possession.
Yeah.
So all those basic things, because he's important to us, because he can make a difference. He's a talented player, and we need those players to find that little bit of difference that help us get over the line.
Yeah, it's good comments. Actually, they're good comments. I mean, and that just alludes to the fact that he sometimes, well, quite often during a game, he will make the wrong decision.
Yeah,
he will make the wrong decision.
He
He'll play a ball without looking up, straight to the opposition. You know, whereas he's got to stop doing that crap. If he took that out of his game, I've got to agree with Moyes as well. At the beginning of the season, we thought we had a different proposition on our hands. He started to look quite special, didn't he?
Yeah,
and he has kind of gone backwards. So yeah, and I also agree with him that Antonio is more than about goals for us as well. You know, if Antonio's playing well, if he's having one of those days where he's dragging defenders all over the gaff and everything else, and creating space for others, then you always forgive Antonio not scoring a goal. It doesn't matter, right? That's what he's there to do. So
he is more than a goal scorer, Antonio. He is, and I think like that game at Sevilla. I think if he'd have had anybody that was clinical up and around him, we would have scored goals in that game, because he does. He holds the ball up. He does all the hard work. He does all the dog work. You know, we're lacking that bit of spark.
What we need
a spark,
a Cotty or a Defoe type fox in the box striker. You know, someone that only ever scored in the penalty area, around that area.
Nigel, imagine how many goals Defoe would score up alongside Antonio.
Prime Defoe would be nudging the 20 a season.
He would be.
Probably clinical finisher. It would be lovely to have one of them, wouldn't it?
I mean, to never have, considering what they set out to find the first season transfer window they came into the club, to have signed 50 odd strikers and to never have one.
Yeah,
not one get 20 goals. That was the aim.
I know.
To have one get 20 goals in a season, including cup games. You know, even if we went let's include cup games, you know, it just shows you what the problem's been at the club. For me, the problem's always been goal scoring. It's never been defending.
Yeah, no, that's it. I agree. Well, let's move on to West Ham, like we just have, and like I say, you know, keeping in mind the injuries that we've got, fatigue from travelling, and playing on Thursday. And I know Villa also played on Thursday, but they didn't have to travel to the south of Spain to play, did they? So Nigel, what are you expecting from Moyes this weekend? Do you think he's going to rest players, or can you see him going full strength?
I don't think he's going to rest players. It's difficult to predict. Basically, I think we can predict the goalkeeper. We can predict the defence. We may struggle with the Lanzini Fornals. There's not going to be any Bowen. So, if there's no Bowen, he's got to play Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can
he's
get
gotta
away.
he's
You
gotta-
can get away with if you ain't got Antonio. His fullback was to go to Bowen.
Do you think Bowen's out? Do you think he's not going to be playing? Is he?
I think he's out for Sunday, and I would expect him to be 50-50 for. He could be on the bench. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's more important for the season? And this is a big dilemma because what's happened is Villa's just took 9 points out of 9. And what have we took? 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, look, and that's the thing, and it's all
So
very
now
well,
they're breathing down our necks.
yeah, but it's all very well sort of saying that results are going against us. Wolves picked up a win, didn't they? But at the end of the day, if we're not winning games, then we don't really kind of we don't deserve it. So we've got to be winning games ourselves. So I mean, are you worried? Being on a run of 3 consecutive defeats now in all competitions, how important is it that we do stop the rot against Villa on Sunday?
Yeah, the reason why I think it's more important to not lose to Villa is to keep them back away from us. Because I think if we lose to Villa, that's another team on our tail. So while it looks like we're nailed on for a top 8 finish, which I still think would be an outstanding achievement, two of the best back-to-back finishes we've ever had to get a 6th and an 8th place. If you start then dropping to 9th, it sort of lessens it a bit for me.
Yeah, that's it.
So for me, ultimately, we've got to be top 8.
Yeah,
I'll accept being 8th.
Anything less than that is
anything less than that. I think we've really fell
bad.
away. Yeah, bearing in mind,
it's where we were. We're bearing in mind where we were before January.
Exactly right. Well, January we were still in. Well, I think we just got knocked out of the League Cup, weren't we?
Yeah.
But, we had Europa Cup, FA Cup. We thought we were outsiders, but still with a sniff of the top 4.
Yeah.
As you look at the barometer there, you can see that we were. I mean, just to keep that barometer on what was that, a 59, 60 point finish, we need to beat Villa.
So we've got to beat them, and then
it's
not impossible. It's not impossible, is it? It's not impossible, but.
Well, look at the results there quickly. We're looking at the barometer. So you got Spurs away, Everton. We could pick up points that would cement us in top 6 there. But you only do that by winning the games that we've won. So we not only have we got to win 3 out of 5 there to stand still compared to last season. Yeah, we need to win 4 out of 5 to guarantee or to keep the top 6 dream alive. Top 4's gone. Yeah, and I think that's going to be Arsenal. Look at the game. They've got 4 games in hand, I think, over Man United and 2 points behind them.
Do you think we're really suffering now, though? Because I think at the start of the season, I was saying it was all about momentum. If you put in it, if you win one game, you can win the next game. But I think what's happening now is, I think these players, I feel sorry for them. I think they are trying their absolute hardest and they're pulling their bollocks out. They put in a brilliant performance against Liverpool, the same against Sevilla. And I'm just starting to think now that they couldn't work any harder. And I just feel like they're running out of puff. They're running out of steam.
Well, I don't buy. You know me. I don't go into that. They're tired.
I think they are, though, Nigel. I think they are.
Well, then, for me, I would look at the training schedule then, because go and look at Liverpool's players. Yeah, go and look at Man City's players. Go and look at the top teams' players. Look how many games they play. They've played as many games as our teams play. So if that's the case, the players ain't good enough. Not that they're not, that we've overused them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, then they ain't good enough, because the top teams, they've got a big squad, but their players have still all played 35, 40 games this season already with international football.
No, I think you're right. There was an excuse just before the Christmas period because those games were just thick and fast, weren't they? So you expected some tired legs and stuff like that. Now we're talking about a maximum, and give it a couple of weeks, we'll be back to one game a week again, right? This is we've got the odd European game thrown in on a Thursday now. Having 2 Premier League games a week is not something that's going to happen from now to the end of the season. So literally, we've got those players should be able to cope with that workload of 2 games a week, in my mind.
If you look at that December, you go 3 games. You go 3 games in August. Then you have because of internationals. You go then 3 games in September. Then you go 3 games in October. You have 5 in November. And you have 9 with cup games in December.
Yeah.
You know, no wonder the players are fucked because they've been gently, but now we're going to work you to fucking death. But not only that is, you then go 9 and 7 in January. So you go from 9. So that December, January period, when the players are sort of could do with a little, and you can see why Continent do have a 2-week break, not just to because of winter, that actually to give the players a little recharge.
It's a really good idea, and also the foreign leagues, they tend to give their own clubs an advantage by letting them play on a Friday night and stuff like
100%.
that.
The Germans definitely do that. The Dutch do that as well. You know, if you're playing midweek in Europe, if you want to play Friday night, we'll let you do it. But the problem is, their TV money ain't what it is. And
no, that's it. The TV dictates over here. But I'll tell you what, there's one good point here from Glenn Marshall where he says 9th in the Europa League Cup final. Yeah, look, I'd take that all day long.
Yeah, No, and do you know what? Top 10, so 10th and get to the final of Europa League.
Yeah.
Well, get to the final of the Europa League and I'll swallow anything. Or I'll accept, I'll use that word lightly. I'll accept any league position. I'll accept any league position to be in Seville in May.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So what we're doing now, I'm picking some players to sort of throw in.
Yeah.
Lanzini going to start, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And who's going to play on the right this week?
It's got to be Vlasic for me, isn't it? I don't think Ben Rama's going to get a start, is he?
Hey?
I don't think Ben Rama will get a start. I think Vlasic did well for the first half, so I think you got to put.
Who would you rather play Thursday?
I'd rather play Ben Rama. I think I'd rather play Ben Rama.
No, I want
no. Out of Ben Rama. Let's say he's not fit. Yeah, who you playing, Vlasic or Ben Rama?
Probably Ben Rama. If I'm honest,
I'd go Vlasic to play tomorrow. Then,
yeah. If I am, I like. I've got nothing against Vlasic. I just don't think he's quite there yet, unfortunately.
I think the problem not the problem. I think the reason why Moyes has been a bit critical more of Ben Rama is because he's obviously got stuff in his locker that Vlasic ain't.
Yeah, no, he has.
Ability-wise, so perhaps there's a frustration from Moyes that there is obviously a gifted player, and he's not making the most of his.
I think there is. I think he must do his head in. You know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, do you think that's kind of how we're going to line up? Is that? I mean, we ain't got many options, so there ain't really too much to discuss. I don't. The back four is going to be the back four unless he gives Dawson a rest and he plays Diop. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to be resting players tomorrow. I mean, yeah, take your point, Nigel Ben Rama versus Vlasic. But as for the rest of them, they're all match fit. They're all playing regular first team football. There is just more than 4 days because the game's 2:00 tomorrow. And the game is on Thursday evening, so there's over 4 days rest between games. That's enough. That's fine. I'm more worried about what is it, the Tottenham game on the Sunday after the Thursday? Is that right?
Yeah, same here. That is a big one. So you wouldn't make any changes from that? Then you'd leave that as it is for now.
Yeah, that's exactly how that would be the team. If you were saying if I was the manager and I had what was at my locker, I'd be looking at it and going, right, you're my 11.
Okay, right now what we're going to do next? You've got the Villa lineup. We're going to do a combined 11. So we're going to go for. Should we go for a standard 4-4-2? And we'll
Yeah.
just effectively go with that. So what? So we've got a blank pitch.
All right.
So what players? Who are you going to pick out of Martinez and Fabianski?
Martinez.
Okay.
Good call.
Who are you going to pick out of Luca Dean and Cresswell?
I'd go Creswell for his ability on the free kicks and crosses. I think his dead ball situation is better than.
I mean, I'll probably disagree with that. I probably would go Digne, but it's a democracy. So Gary, you have the final vote.
Yeah, I'll go Cresswell.
Okay, that's fine. Right. So right back. So you've got Matty Cash or Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, I've not seen a lot of Matty Cash, even though we were linked with him when he was at Forest. But
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'd go Johnson.
Okay. So, and like I say, we are being unbiased, people. It's just it's obviously about what we So if we go to the Villa lineup now, look, I'm putting Zuma straight in. Zuma's got to go in, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means, does Mings or Chambers replace Dawson?
Chambers for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Gary?
I'll go with that.
I've never been a fan of Tyrone Mings. I don't. I was always surprised when he got in the England team.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it.
Right, and then if we go with this role here, so you got a CDM, so it ain't even a conversation, is it?
No.
Louise or Rice?
No, yeah, Souček goes in.
Souček goes in CDM, or would you play Rice at CDM? You winding me up?
No, yeah, definitely Rice.
You're fucking winding me up, right? Hang on. Just about to eat me mic. Right. Okay. Then you've got. I think John McGinn has to go in my opinion.
What, over Souček?
Over Souček, all day long for me.
Out there, yeah, I think as a winger, yeah.
He's as part of that sort of midfield three.
Yeah.
He offers more.
I'll go along with you then. Go on.
A lot more. Then you've got. So you got Ramsey. I suppose you're gonna have Lanzini or Souček. Well,
I'd be me.
or would you play?
Nails.
Would you play Fornals there?
Yeah,
What? So in that position,
in that position there, Fornals.
that's not a bad chat, you know. You in agreement with that, Gal?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to pull Fornals back. Yeah, I think that looks good. And McGinn, right, there is absolutely no argument in who plays in that number 10 number 10 role.
Yeah,
Pino all day long.
Right, he goes there. Right, now the question is, does Mickey get to play as part of that front two? Obviously, either Watkins or who do you pick out of Watkins or Ings first of all as your first striker?
Ings for me.
I like.
Yeah, I would love to see, because I would love to see Antonio and Ings as a pairing.
That's why I wanted him.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted him. So now, do you think Ings would be better with Watkins or Antonio?
Antonio.
I think Antonio would be a dream for any poacher.
Yeah, I think he shades it. There's not a lot of difference, really.
No.
I think goal stats wise between probably Watkins and Antonio, but I think performance level, I think Antonio, would get in. So
you look at that; it's a pretty even split. I think with and I don't think that's being unfair. There's only two positions there where I would argue, and that's the fullback positions. Possibly not so much Johnson, because I think Johnson I'm happy with. Johnson's a really good right back. Matty Cash is better going forward, but Johnson is fantastic. Johnson's a better defender. So you can. It depends what you want from a player. Cresswell and Luca Dean for me. I don't think there's really much to. I don't think there's much to argue about. I do think Luca Dean is a better player. He's he's quicker.
I don't know the answer to that question. What's it?
How come we're gonna have faces? We're just numbers. It's just it's just the way I've done it. But yeah, so are you happy with that then?
Yeah,
I'm very happy with that. By the way, this game is not on telly tomorrow. You know that. Got to find out.
no, it's live in Stratford.
It is, but I can't go, so I'm going to have to find some dodgy stream to watch it tomorrow.
No, bloody hell.
Is
Right.
it not on telly then?
No, it's not televised, so
Oh, right.
it's all right. I think my dodgy stream will work. I think.
Okay, right. So that is that done. Should we finish up with the Premier League predictor?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's always
Let's
fun, isn't it?
see if I can launch that.
Who's Spurs going to lose to next week?
Well, they lost tonight.
Yeah, I
To
know.
us.
It was fabulous.
They lost tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Goes to show, right, the difference between us and Spurs. Man United put 3 goals past Spurs. I know they beat them 3-2 in the end, but when you consider what a hard job Man United had against us, only beat us in injury time.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just not looking forward to the Spurs game. I've got to be honest.
No, we're going to beat them, Nick. We're going.
I know. You going to that one, Nige?
Well, thanks to Sky, no, because my tickets turned up nice and early. But my sister's just had a baby, and it was all arranged for Sunday evening to be at my mum's to see my sister's new baby for the first time.
Right. Okay.
And obviously, a 2:00 kickoff, as it was.
Yep.
As it says on the ticket, believe it or not. Yeah. That meant I would have been at my mum's by 6:00.
Yeah.
Obviously, the game ain't going to finish now till 6:30.
Yeah, it's the late one now. It's 4:30 now, isn't it?
Yeah, 4:30. So
Yeah.
to do that with 2 weeks' notice, I think is absolutely scandalous.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
For a
terrible.
game that was always 50-50, because if either of us had won our cup game, the game wouldn't have been played anyway.
Right.
So then decide, oh, well, actually, we're going to put you on at 4:30. It's possible. I don't know. There's not many Sky games on, is there? I think because of the FA Cups, obviously, on that weekend.
I just thought that games against Spurs and such like, I thought they deliberately played them early to stop people having a chance to go and get all pissed up before the game.
Yeah.
Don't really matter. Clearly don't matter.
Okay, right. I'll tell you what we'll do. Everyone in the chat, because this is the last bit, let us know what your predictions are for tomorrow. Go on, and before we do this, go on, Nigel. What's your prediction against Villa?
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Desmond. It's gone for a Desmond again. Right, Gary, go on. What are you going for?
2-1 to us.
2-1 to us. I'm probably going to go for if I'm being honest, I'm probably thinking 2-1 Villa. I'm probably thinking 2-1 Villa, but we'll see. We shall see. Right, so we'll start with Chelsea versus Newcastle. Nigel.
This could be a close game. I'm gonna go for Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1.
They're playing well, Newcastle, at the moment, aren't they?
8 games unbeaten.
I know.
I think it's one of their best ever runs in the Premier League.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Right, Gary. Everton versus Wolverhampton Wanderers.
0-2.
0-2. I'm going to put the comments up as we're.
Yeah.
Where are we? 0-2. And I'll do Southampton, Watford. It's only going to be a Southampton win, that I reckon. 2-0 Southampton. Right, Nigel. Leeds versus Norwich. Are Leeds going to get back to winning ways?
Leeds 3, Norwich 1.
Right. West Ham versus Villa. Are we going to go for a West Ham win here?
West Ham Villa?
Yeah.
We'll give that one to Gary then.
Go on, Gary. Go on, you have it.
Yeah, 2-1.
Because he's the only one out of the three of us who predicted it.
No, I know. Well, we need Arsenal to get fucked at Leicester. Go on, Nigel, you can have that one.
Do you know what? I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
1-1. That won't be a bad result for us. Right, Gary, final one. Crystal Palace versus Manchester City.
1-3.
1-3. Okay, let's calculate that bad boy. What does that put us? Still 6. Still 6.
All right. Yeah.
That do. That's all right. Good stuff.
It's a really important game tomorrow to put some air between us and the teams chasing us.
Yeah, no,
Really
it is.
important.
It is. It's a bloody important game. But yeah, that's me done. The agenda's finished, Gary. Over to you.
Thank you. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks to everyone who contributed in the chat. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. And thanks to Nigel for joining us as usual. And get along to Nigel's website, 6foot2.co.uk. Thanks to Stel for the live loving session.
I think Stel's cock of the week, isn't he?
Yeah.
He was brilliant before he got distracted, wasn't he? Absolutely. He was. So we'll be back probably on Sunday night for the hangover at 7, and we'll review the Villa game. Hopefully a win. And we'll see you, other than that, to the Booze Up next Friday. So until then, thank you for watching. See you soon, and come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.